Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to XRS Plus, the official podcast for X Racing Series. It feels great to be back. For those of you who are maybe newer to the league and are not so sure, why is there this guy talking to me? What is going on? Why am I on your screen? XRS Plus was the podcast for XRS. I ran it from season 1 to season 3. We did loads of stuff. We did predictions. I did weekly posts about the races and what's going on. I did some interviews with some of the drivers. Unfortunately, due to time restraints, that came down to just the kind of the mid-season and end-of-season streams from like season 4 to season 6, I think. Then the last couple of seasons, I've been unable to do it, but we are back. Despite the fact I get 2 billion pings a day about when's the predictions coming back, when's the podcast coming back, Casper, we are back. We are here back on stream. There was a plan to put us on Spotify so you guys can have us in the background and just kind of chuck your phone off and have us in your AirPods. But apparently, when you're uploading onto Spotify, it takes between like a couple hours and 5 days to like verify what you record. Didn't want to take that risk, I'll be so real. It's currently Sunday. The podcast has actually already been recorded. This is actually an intro. I'm actually recording the intro last. It's already been recorded. But currently Sunday. I want to get it out either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm not going to take the risk on Spotify because you lot deserve podcast. You deserve to be listening to my voice in your evening while you're doing other stuff. So we are going to get it out, and let's just get started. You know how the predictions work? Top 3 in the drivers, and then the constructors winner, and then we're going to go through our OCC positions right at the end. We've got a couple guests for you as well over this podcast. It's going to be great fun, and I hope you enjoy. First guest of the podcast, it is going to be 2-time OCC winner, the only person in the league who is the top TP of 2 teams, McLaren and Mercedes, and he achieved the Mercedes in his very first season. He's about to start his second. It is Finley Millard. How are you doing, mate?
Hello. It's a pleasure to be back on here. Gotta love a podcast with me on it. It's good. It's been a while since we've had this. As a fan and as someone behind the microphone as well, it's good to be back doing one of these, especially.
It's going to be good, and I think, especially with the increase of drivers in the league compared to when we did it back in season 3, it's just closer. It's just closer every season.
For sure.
This is going to be a particularly close one. We're going to get going with Division 5. Let's start with your P3. Who do you think is going to finish P3 in the drivers?
I think Div 5 is a tough one because there is a lot of names, and it's with everything that's happened to do with div moves, there's a lot of uncertainty. I think Div 5 is especially one of those divs that you can't really have like a certified stamp on who's going to be up there. Like usually going into every season, you've got that one guy who's like, right, this guy's clearly the favourite. I don't think there is that in Div 5. For my third place, I'm a bit torn because I'm torn between 2.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put 5 Wise in third place.
Oh. I was wondering if you'd do it. But go on, give us your reasoning.
My reason is because, obviously, he's an active member in the league. In a short season, I think the active members, the very committed drivers, will outstep the natural, quick sort of quali merchants. Obviously, 5 Wise Orkin, and I'll refer to him as, has been very committed to XRS since the league opened up. He's always shined in the smaller seasons. I think the season where he was competing against Baldy for the title was in a sprint season. So his name just always stands out to me. And for that reason, I have put him third.
Yeah, fair enough. He spent a lot of time. He's been in Division 4 and 5 in XRS, and then in KRL back in KRL he was Division 3. Like you said, he's fought for 1 title, which was Division 4. And that was the lowest division at the time as well, wasn't it? Because that was Season 2. And he didn't win that one. Do you think there is...
It's tricky because...
Do you need to get the ring rust off? He hasn't
if he's
fought for a
around
title
the
in a long
right
time.
people and
is there going to be a big points gap
enough,
between him
I think
and
he
P1?
can be within the points range. I think every time he shared a team with me, he's pressed down on the pedal about 10 times more. And obviously, he's in the McLaren with good people around him. Last season was his like trying to gain a bit of momentum, which for me he didn't do last season. I think it was the opposite. So I think this season he will gain momentum, but I don't think it'll be enough to challenge for the top step.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay,
right. For my P3, I have gone different. Funnily enough, you've gone for a driver in McLaren. I've actually gone for a driver in Mercedes, and I've gone for Formula Viva. I think that, for me, right, you've jumped in at a driver that was clearly wanted by a couple other teams, a couple big other teams as well. You've managed to secure that transfer, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
If you look at Viva's last season, he was in Division 5 last season. He finished third, just outside the top two. I mean, the top two would run away at this point, so he was kind of the best of the rest almost, because those top two were very strong. His qualities aren't that strong, but I feel like in Division 3, it's about consistency. I feel like the race pace in Division 3 is so important because it's less so just lots of DRS trains and more so. I mean, you'd think the lowest division would have more crashes, but actually it doesn't. But it does come down to consistency and not making mistakes, because mistakes are made more in Division 5. And with that consistency and with that top group, the Big B, the Tom, the Captain JW, the Panda out the division, I think that opens up an opportunity for him to really thrive in this division.
No, obviously I'm a fan of this guy massively. I always have been, and I always will be. I think for me, he's like the big definition of like Mr. Consistency. I don't think he necessarily outsteps anyone in terms of pure raw pace. It's just he's a guy who's always there, always can be there. And for that reason, I've put him second. That is Walker. Yeah. Former champion, and I think he's going to do well with these div changes. He had a good season last season, to be fair. So definitely deserves
that's a big call. Former
at least an
champion
honourable mention in this list. But for me, I've put him second.
Yeah. That's fair. I think Walker is definitely a driver to keep your eye on. He's a Ferrari veteran now. He's been there since season 3 when he won the title. So he definitely knows his way around the team. Had a short stint as assistant TP as well, so he has that management role too. But yeah, like you said, he had a really solid season last time out. I haven't put him as my P2 though. Yeah. My P2, and it is a driver that I think some people might have overslept on, and you need to cast your mind back to the start of last season for this guy. I've put Worldwide. I've put Red Bull TP Worldwide. I think, so obviously he stepped out of racing a few rounds into last season because he went travelling. But if you look at those results, his qualifying was very solid. He got a pole and a P2. He got 2 front rows in the 4 races he did. And his pace is very solid. He also picked up a podium in that time. He had a couple of stinkers. He got P11 quali in Monza out of the 4 races he did. But if he's in a title fight, if he can refine that consistency, because he's finishing around or he's starting as well. Like I said, consistency is important in 5. I think this is an opportunity for him to really thrive, because you've got to remember that he's putting this front row and he's getting these podiums.
Fair enough.
Quite a fast Division 5.
I think for me, he's been out of the game
from last season.
A little bit too long to be considered in a title fight. But
so I think this is an opportunity for Worldwide to do very well. So I've put him P2.
Again, definitely someone who could be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think
it depends how long it takes.
The quicker he gets off the ring rust, the better. And I know it is an ace
for my P1
season, so he needs to do it pretty quickly. He needs to get on the practice. But
I think
once he's ready, I think he'll get.
I'm trying to say this in like the most unbiased way possible.
Who have you put for your P1?
You can tell where this is going. I have put Viva as my number 1 to win the title. I think last season there's a lot of things that can be worked on, but to have the season he had last season with the utmost respect to the team in a Haas is incredible. And I think now he's made the step up into a team that's led by myself. I think we can definitely work on some of the issues he had last season, and once they're issued out, I don't think he will lose. No.
That's very fair. You make a good point.
Yeah.
He had a very solid season last time, and
think I know what
not
you
everyone
mean,
can do it in a low team.
You're good. Yeah. I know this.
Obviously, I've already put Viva in my P3 spot, so I have put a different winner to you.
It's not. I know
We haven't started strong with the bias because you've put a Mercedes. I have put a McLaren.
Yeah.
Whether it's the P1 that you think I'm going to say, it might not be. P1. I've put Karma. I think Karma is a driver who has been another driver who is massively overslept on. If you look at last season, and he was the opposite of Worldwide actually. He raced right at the end of the season. He did 3 races. He did Jeddah, he did Baku, and he did Singapore. All 3 of them in quali, he put it on the second row. And you've got to remember, this is at the peak of when Division 5 were fighting for the titles. They were really practicing. They were really going for it. But also, and what we see in Division 5 a lot is drivers just improve over a season, especially a season of 14 races, which is quite a long time. If you think in the past, we've had so many drivers who've just improved over the season and become faster than they did at the start. You can see, obviously, Tom this season and Panda as well. You can make the argument of Draconos as the season before. You can absolutely make the argument of Georgia and Admiral the season before that. They start the season fine, get a decent start,
True.
but once they get going, at the end of the season, that's when they're their peak pace. And Karma was up against peak Big B, peak Panda, peak Tom, and was fighting with them. He finished top 5 in all 3 races he did. I think that's very, very solid. Obviously, there's a threat of him getting moved up if this is a continuous pace that he takes.
I have 2 names in my
season.
honourable mentions, and he was one of them.
Similarly, the threshold for getting moved up is less so since
as respectful as I can put it, I'm not really familiar with who he is. Like, this is the first time I've heard of him is because he signed to McLaren. So I'm not going to put someone in the top 3 purely based off what team they've gone to. But for sure, I remember a few of the qualifying moments from last season, but I'm not familiar with his game, so time will tell.
Yeah, of course. Fair enough. If you get an honourable mention, I'm gonna grab an honourable mention as well. We haven't mentioned, and I am gonna give it to your other driver, Ava. She started the season not too well. Picked up qualies, kind of in the lower side of top 10, breaking into even lower than that. Qualified 18th in Spa, qualified 16th in Silverstone. Not so strong. Get to the later part of the season. Again, I make the point when this is drivers at their peak pace of the season.
100%.
I mean, P2 in Jeddah, finished P4, P6 in Singapore, finished P6, P7 in Baku. These are some top-end qualities. These are some good laps that she's managed to find the pace for. And again,
100%.
we've moved up people.
100%.
So if she can continue this pace, there's absolutely a chance she's challenging for pole in a lot of these races.
Obviously, I have
so
both my devices now for the long
consistency,
term, I think.
someone to watch out for.
I think
Mercedes
we're
line up
definitely
dangerous.
more in the moment of Viva's time. I think I'll work with Ava slowly but surely.
Oh yeah, go on then.
But I think, like we were talking about, the season of gaining a lot of momentum and then challenging, I think this season for Ava will be the momentum. And then later on. But my honourable mention was, surprisingly, none of the top dogs, none of the top teams. My honourable mention is Gordo.
Yeah.
In the Aston. I think he's an underdog. I originally put him for 3rd place out of 5 Ys, but
yeah, fair.
but yeah, he's definitely a hidden driver amongst the rest. You do know. I know I've put, and I know you've put.
Fair enough. That's good. All right, and
I mean,
right, so wrap
I've
up
gone for
Division
Mercedes.
5. Who have you put for constructors? And I have
You've
a
obviously
feeling.
gone for
I know.
McLaren.
I have a feeling you know who I'm going to
I
put.
think.
Go on.
I think it's just dead
Go on,
neck and neck. Like I think 5 Ys and whoever the other guy is. I think.
Yep.
Like I think that they will be up there, literally from round 1 till the end.
It is. Yeah.
But I also think Viva and Ava will as well. But based on my predictions for Viva winning the title, it just makes the most sense to then put Mercedes to win the constructors as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, my logic was similar. So obviously I've put Karma to win the drivers, so in a short race season, those points go to winning constructors. Well, I've put McLaren. I think Kiernan, and I didn't put him in my top three. Kiernan, I've said this so many times, maybe not on podcast because the podcast was quite a long time ago. Kiernan absolutely has the pace to win Div 5. That's not even a conversation, right? It's very evident, and I guess this is from an inside point of view, that maybe people outside of McLaren don't know this. He's putting the work in now. Last season, he absolutely did not, and the results showed. He was absolutely dreadful last season.
Yeah.
It is a season to forget, pretty much every second of it. He got a couple good results out, and that's when, in my opinion, I think muscle memory just took over and he actually remembered how to drive the car. The rest of the season, just forget it, mate. Just forget it. And he seems to be caring now. He seems to be putting the time in, and I think that he will have enough just ability to stay with the top group and score enough points. I think Karma will be the main person in McLaren. I think Kiernan will have a couple of podiums. I think he'll do well. Maybe get a win. But I don't think he's quite there for the title yet. But I think this will be a good stepping stone season for him, like you said earlier, to maybe go for it in the next game or the next DLC or whatever. Right, and we move on to Division 4, our Thursday division, one of my favourites for sure. And for this division, I'm bringing in the second guest of this podcast. It is the McLaren team principal, the man who's taken the Papaya team in the clutches of a poor performance in Season 6. He brought them up in Season 7 and now potentially chasing an OCC in Season 8. It is Ransdell. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically well, mate. As I said, it's an honour to be on this podcast, bro. I watched this when I first joined the league, when I first started to learn who the people were. I watched the Season 1 end of season podcasts to get used to who it was. And now finally being on it in Season 8, it's come a long way, mate. Come a long way.
Because obviously you joined the league back in Season 2. So you watched the podcast when it was around back then, and we took a break, of course. And during that time, you've gone from a member to mod to admin. You've gone from Division 3 to Division 2 to Division 1. We've seen a full trajectory. We're seeing prime Ransdell, are we not?
We are, and you know what? It's been so fun, bro. It's been so fun. This league is I can thank this league a lot for my pace over the time, being under really good team principals, really good teams, having close title fights all the way down. I think I've got a trophy in every div now, apart from Division 1. So that would be, of course, the end of the season.
One to chase now.
One to chase. That is it. That's the one to chase, and then I can go no further in XRS. That was me peaked. Yeah. But yes, I'm chasing.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a great season. But we've got you for Division 4 now, for the predictions. You know how it works. Top 3 in the drivers, and then of course who you think is going to win the Constructors' Championship. Start me off with your P3.
P3. So P3, I've gone for a man I've known well. I've known for a long time. Okay. He came down last season into Division 3. Into Division 4, sorry. And I think he made a name for himself. He looked quick. Some people wrote him off. His old TP wrote him off. But I've gone for him this season. And I think Foxes will be taking P3 in Division 4, yeah.
Fair enough. How come? Why do you think that?
I think the guy's just got pace. I think you look at him. He's on full traction, I believe, from when I've seen his some of his races in the past. So I feel like I can help him, maybe turn some of that assist down, and it can create a real animal, I think, in Division 4. And there's nothing I want to see more than my drivers doing well, and Foxes specifically. I'd love to see him do it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I'm looking at his results from last season. Obviously, he drove for Sauber. The start of the season, he drove for VCARB and made that transfer mid-season. His qualies at the start of the season weren't great. P17, P18, P10, P17 were his first few races. We did see a big improvement as he came to Sauber, though. He did definitely find that improvement. He put it on the second row, front row a couple of times in quali. So the pace is there. Obviously, quite a few people got moved up from Division 4. We saw, 6 drivers go up? So obviously that's going to help him for the driver standings as well. And we have to remember, and obviously with all due respect to Sauber, but it is a Sauber. So doing that in a Sauber is more difficult than doing that in McLaren. You haven't got the same support. You haven't got the same team around you. So I feel like you would definitely better find all the pace you can in this car.
Yeah,
right?
With the resources I think we've got going into next season, I don't see why he can't massively improve, and I feel like he will. I back him. I back him. I think he's going to do well. I don't think he wins it. I think that's faster, but I think Foxes is going to be around that P3 area. I think it's going to be really tight in all divs, but that P3 area, I think Foxes has got his name for it.
Okay, fair enough. For P3, I've kept in the same team. I've kept in the same region, but I haven't gone for Foxes. I've actually gone for Whale. I've gone for Whale P3. I think that Whale, personally, from the predictions I've seen in chats and what people are saying, Whale is the most slept-on driver in Div 4. This guy's qualies are actually nuts. He put it on second row, front row, almost every single race with a couple of honkers. He had most recently, if you look at the end of the season, P12 quali in Kota, P11 quali in Baku, but P3 Jeddah, P3 Brazil, P4 Imola, P3 Hungary. The qualies are very solid, and I guess this is kind of inside information. But from what I watched in last season, he seems to get stuck a lot. You go for your pit stop, you come out, you're in a DRS terrain. He seems to just get stuck, and he's a little bit prone to early lap collisions, which drops him down from where his quali is. I think if he can find that disconnect where he can sort out the instant he's getting into race, and maybe being a bit braver with the overtakes, but I have a feeling the opening laps is more of a cause. I think this is his title to lose. I think he'll do very well, but I have put in P3 because there is a couple other drivers in the division who will make it quite difficult for him. But keep your eyes on Whale, 100%. Underrated driver.
Absolutely agree, mate. I think Whale is, as you say, the most slept-on driver. Like, when people were talking predictions as we do in Discord, in any chats, Whale's never mentioned. Whale is... I've raced with Whale for so long. I've known him for so long. And I feel like this is his time. I think he's going to do very, very well. I think Whale. I agree with you.
Yeah, fair enough. P2, hit me with your P2.
The man we just spoke about. I think Wales in P2.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think Wales in P2. I think he's, as we said, I mean, what could be said that wasn't already said? I think the guy's incredible. I like Wales a lot. And I do fancy him to really challenge this season. See a different version of Wales maybe than what we saw last season. As you say, insider knowledge, of course, but hopefully see a bit of a different version of him and see him really go and grasp for the wins, really go and fight at the top end, and I think he's got all the ability to do that.
I think Wales' mentality is really good. It's all inside information from McLaren, but when I've been engineering him, his mentality was really good last season, and you've got to bear in mind that last season he came in to replace, I think it was Blake, wasn't it, at the start of the season? So he's come in as a driver who knew he'd be second role. The focus was all on Ozers to get the championship. He was there for bonus points and to help Ozers. But now with a clean slate and an 8-race season, which is very, very short, he's going to 100% be a threat for the title now that it's all focused on him.
Absolutely. I think he's going to be close, man. With how the season length is, I think it's definitely be close across all divs. But I just fancy to be right up there every week, just be challenging. Be pushing the guys really, really fast. And I've raced in other leagues with Whale, and I feel like the help that we've given him here at McLaren, he's using elsewhere. Right, he's really, really come leaps and bounds recently. I back him entirely.
Yeah, fair enough. P2, my P2. Finally, we're straying away from McLaren. I feel like we've talked about McLaren too much now, and people are going to be they're all typing bias in the chat right now. Although we didn't say P1 yet, but anyway. My P2, and this is a risky one. This is a bit of a hit or miss one because I believe in him, but past seasons show that there is a lack of mentality sometimes, and it is Morgan Hughes. It is Kua.
Oh wow! Okay.
I do believe in Kua because. Certainly in my time in Team Principal, I was CP for season 5 and half of season 6, and I had quite a big role in season 4, I suppose, in McLaren in terms of helping some of the lower div drivers. So I guess I've had enough time to be involved in enough drivers to kind of just be helping out, coaching and seeing. And at least from what I could tell, I mean, and an exception for season 3, which is obviously I wasn't TP at that point. It was Mill in McLaren, and Kua was very, very strong. In fact, I remember his Bahrain quali was like P3, and I was like, okay, Kua's really coming out of his shell. He's doing well. But after season 3, seeing him in a McLaren, I just don't think he strived in that team. There was clearly some way that me or Mill were running it. It's during season 4 to season 6, at least, is when I watched, where there was a disconnect there, and there was something went wrong. Where I don't think he was getting 100% out of all of his performances, and there was definitely a mentality issue as well. Maybe because of his teammates being quite strong in the divisions. Obviously, Liam at one point as well was, and then failing after that, were quite strong in the divisions. But since he's gone to Alpine, I think he's been doing fantastic. I think Alpine is just a perfect team for him. It seems to fit so well. He performed pretty well last season. I think where did he finish in the end of the season? I think he finished 10th, so he did okay. He had definitely some star results at certain tracks he's strong at. He's strong at Spain, he's strong at Kota.
Spain.
So those are ones to remember. But I think with the title on the line, I think his mentality might be there to actually give it a good crack and not be focused too much on what other people are doing, which I think is what he's done in the past. So yeah, I believe in Kua, I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, I think Kua's got all the ability in the world to win this division. Personally, I think he's great. But it is and I'm sorry, Kua. But it always has been a question of mentality. Someone needs to be there coaching him every single time, making sure he does the right things at the right time, get him over the line. And as you say, whatever you guys were doing, Mill, yourself in McLaren got the most out of him. And as you said, Alpine, he seemed to kind of found his form. He's stray away a little bit from the noise of I'm going to beat you, and then gets annoyed when he doesn't. I think he's strayed away from a lot of that noise recently, and he's just going to put out some good performances in the races.
Yeah,
I think he is up there.
I mean, it might be an element of pressure to be fair, because obviously McLaren this whole time have been fighting for OCC trophy. Whereas Alpine, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've been on and up. I mean, Gone to the Moon is one of my favourite team principals. He's been cooking with Alpine recently. I mean, he finished P5 last season. He brought them up from back-to-back P7s in season 5 and season 6. So whatever he's doing is working. He only finished 100 points away from McLaren. And with Red Bull change of team principal, there's a very, very great chance they finish P4, which is unreal. They're just moving upwards. So I guess there's less of a pressure that Alpine, when Kua joined, was a midfield team as opposed to McLaren, which is a front team. So maybe when a title fight comes into contention, the pressure starts building again and he starts feeling it out again. But I think Kua will do well. I believe him.
No, I agree.
P1, and I have a feeling we've gone for the same driver. But go on, hit me with it.
I've gone to a man that I have shared a team with for an entire season. In season 5, season 6, I think it might have been. And do you know what? I reckon this is him. I think this has got Vaxi GG written all over it. I think this has got Vaxi written all over this one.
I've gone for Vaxi as well.
Yeah, well, he's in a great position. I think he's got all the pace in the world, especially in the wet, as you'd like to say. He's great in the wet. But no, he's got all the pace. He's at a great team with Mercedes. I think him and Mill are boys. Mill works very well with him. I back him. I back him for this. I think he's going to have a fantastic season.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at last season, besides Jeddah and maybe Imola, I mean, P10 quali, P10 race, which isn't that bad. The rest of his results were top class. I think, to be honest, he only missed out on the title last season, maybe because of attendance. I think he would have been absolutely in the fight at minimum. Obviously, I think he got moved down, didn't he? So we wouldn't have had an opportunity.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Getting moved down for Vaxi, I think is a godsend. He's another driver though that is a little bit prone to the mentality drop when something goes not his way. I think he's a little bit the same as Kua. Is certainly in my experience. Obviously Vaxi's been in the league for seasons. He's been there since season 2. So I've got to know his driving. I've been against him in different teams a lot. I've never been on a team with him yet though, but I have a feeling it's one of them ones where you're in a title fight and then you're mid quali and someone in their second lap, like a banker, someone sets a lap that's just quicker than your PB, and you're looking at like how on I can't do that. I physically can't go that fast. This is not fair. And I feel like Kua and Vaxi are two drivers that will just go into chat and just and just give up. They'll be like, I can't go that fast. They should get moved up, and their mentality's gone. By that point, they're not going to beat them. There's no version of that race where they win now, because the possibility of winning is now out of their head. So as long as they keep it locked in and keep it focused, and even when, you know, Whale or Tom or Drac or someone else just sets a mental uptime, they stay focused. And even if they don't count qualifying, it's fine. There's a long ways to go, kind of thing. Then I think it's okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think from being on the team with him, I think Vaxi can win this, absolutely. He just needs to be in the right headspace. He needs to be locked in, and I feel like Mill can really get that out of him.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the main thing for me. I think Mill can absolutely get the most out of Vaxi here. So it's very difficult to pass up on P1 being Vaxi. I think he's going to be incredible.
Yeah, fair play to Vaxi. Right, finally for Division 4, hit me with your Constructors champion.
Well,
hang on, you just matched it. Hang on, wait a minute. Unless Vaxi wins by like 100 points.
Yeah, so as you say, unless Vaxi wins by 100 points, I'm going to give it to McLaren.
Fair enough.
Division 4.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I think the lineup together, they're both top drivers, and I think working together with us, of course, in the team as well. I think this is ours to lose on that one. I think we have a good lineup here for Division 4, and I'm quite looking forward to being in there every week with them, and helping them out and all sorts of stuff that you do. So no, I think obviously my driver's being predicted P2 and 3 by myself. I give the Constructors to McLaren. I think we got it.
Fair. I'm actually going to surprise you with this one, and I haven't gone McLaren. I also haven't gone Mercedes, and even though I put Kura in my predictions, I haven't gone Alpine either. So this one's going to come out a little bit surprised to you. I've actually gone for Ferrari. I actually initially had Tom as my P3. I changed my mind. I went Whale because I just back Whale. But I think Tom and Drac will both be in the title fight. Just miss out on that top 3. Drac actually got really unlucky last season. I think in terms of straight pace, I mean, we saw Ozers in the title fight. Drac beat him the season before, and the same game. So it's not like he's just lost pace. He was 80 points behind Ozers at the end of the title fight. And, I mean, his qualies weren't fantastic, Drac, throughout the season. But I just remember him getting into incidents constantly in the races. And I think if he sorts that out, and obviously his quality naturally will be better, because some of the drivers that are faster than him have got moved up. I think he'll be in and about that title fight. I just think it'll be very close, which is why it doesn't make top 3. And Tom is just incredibly consistent. I mean, if you look at Division 5 last season, obviously he's been moved up. I looked at the comparison because I was curious. Obviously, his closest title rival was Panda, right? And I looked at the head-to-heads. It's actually surprised me. In qualifying, I'm looking at it now. In qualifying, Tom beat Panda 8-4, and then in race, he beat him 10-2. So in a title fight, Panda only beat Tom twice in the entire season. I mean, that is nuts. I didn't realise how incredibly consistent he was. And of course, everyone knows every other race he set a lap time that would be absolutely fine in Division 4. So I actually think Tom's going to be a dark horse in this division. I think we need to watch out for him. So I've actually gone for Ferrari. A little bit of a rogue one for you.
Mate, I rate it. I think Ferrari's lineup is going to be great. I'm so looking forward to it, bro. It's going to be so close. There's so many good lineups around. Like everyone's done really well from what I've seen so far in the signings, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be close. No runaway. I don't think. I think it's just going to go down to the wire between about 3 or 4 teams potentially mathematically in the last race. I dig the shout of Ferrari. I think they'll absolutely be out there fighting for everything.
Right, we move on to the Friday division. We move on to be honest, my favourite division. Constantly every season, it is an absolute banger. Move on to Division 3. And we will be bringing back a guest we had earlier in the podcast. Welcome back, Finley Millard. How you doing?
Hello again, it's me. Just missed me that much. The gap in Div 4 was... I was missed. I've missed being here.
Yeah, everyone in the comments is just like, bring him back. Right, but he is back. We move on to Division 3. Mil, who have you put for your P3 in the drivers?
Now, to be honest, I think this third place slot for me, is a harder decision than who's first.
Genuinely, yeah. You're spot on. You're spot on.
I can't decide who gets third place in my predictions. I think purely off, like, obviously pretty much the whole of Div 3's gone up. So
yeah, there's a lot of challenges from Division 4 that could be in the conversation too.
I did want to put a Div 4 upper into this, but I don't see any of them fit to challenge yet, I'd say. But obviously Div 4 title was between Mike and Toff. I think I don't think they'll be up there in, like, even considered to be close to a title fight this season anyway. As good as they both are. So my third is just gonna have to be the person who literally based on how the div is, and they were in the div, I put Liam in third.
Fair, right there. I'm going to jump to mine real quick. I've put Liam third as well.
Okay.
I think from last season, right, I think it's fair to say that we had an upper Div 3, and then we had kind of obviously you have the upper drivers and you have the midfield. I think in some tracks, they obviously just kind of combined. So you had, I feel like me and Koyi and JB and Tolu probably were just the front every race. And then you had just a mixture of like kind of like midfield drivers who were just every once in a while there. Liam was in that group quite a lot. Like a couple of qualies. The ones I remember specifically was Imola and Baku. He qualified up at the front, P4 in Baku, and in Imola he qualified P4 as well. And this is a guy who can't do quali. So he did do a good, very solid laps. And then his consistency, he was just always there. And that gave him just a very solid amount of points for them to fight for the constructors. Lose in the end, up the boys, but...
I think off of the basis of that he's always there and is in, even if he's qualifying like 11th to 9th, like he will work his way up to at best like a P5. Yeah. So I think for me, if he can do that in the div with drivers who are now gone up, he will naturally now go from qualifying P15 to P like 12. But as in he will like, the grid will be easier for him.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you're looking at the driver standings, right, there's literally one driver ahead of him. Oh no, two drivers who finished ahead of him last season who were still in the division, and that's Sam and James.
Yeah.
So by that logic, like a massive amount of drivers who would normally qualify him are gone.
I'd say as well, I think he isn't just third like his inconsistency. I think he will be in the title fight. Like I think he'll be within points range of the title come the final round.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, third place for me at best for Lee Dog.
Fair, right that. P2, who have you put for P2?
Now, my P2 and my P1 sort of interlinks with my P2 because for me, my real prediction is the opposite way around. I think who I put second is who I think should win this title. But obviously, because of sort of inside knowledge, I've put him second.
I think we've done the same top three, you know. Okay, fine.
Off of the basis of uncertainty to what his pace will be now, I have put CGM in second. Obviously, he was a Div 2. Obviously, he's a Div 3. He's a Div 3 drivers champion. Went up to Div 2. Came back to McLaren eventually and was great in Div 2 for me when I had him in Skiz. And then he went to Wheel, and it just dropped off from there for him. Eventually went back down to Div 3 on a Wheel. I took him on to help him out a bit. Wasn't necessarily going the way it was expected, and now he's going back onto a controller. So for sure, he will definitely be up there. I wanted to put him to win the title, but I think I don't want to jump to that expectations of him instantly. So I'm sort of just protecting him a little bit by not saying to him that I expect you to win the title.
Can I ask? So it's purely just not knowing what his pace is like. It's not like some inside knowledge I can get by his tendons or anything. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
If we were filming this and I knew what his pace is like now on a controller, then it may be different.
Okay, fair enough. My P2, I have gone for Bosmius, or Sem, Williams driver. I think, and obviously, Williams are one of two teams who have never won anything. And when I mean anything, I mean literally no trophies. Williams and Aston Martin are the two teams who have never won a trophy yet. They've definitely got an opportunity with Sem. In fact, I'd make the case actually they've got an opportunity to be both their drivers, because Oberwalf is a very solid driver. Difficult last season, didn't have a great last season, but with an easier division, there's a chance, absolutely. And yeah, don't write off Sem. My thing with Sem, right, is if you look at his qualifying last season, absolutely fantastic. Like, in terms of, I think he had better quality than me. He was up there constantly. He got, I'm not sure how many poles he got. 3, I think. 1, 2.
It's quite a few.
3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, he got 3 pole positions. He I don't know how many front rows, but there was a lot of them. He was constantly up there at the front. But then if you look at his race results, he's just dropping down literally every single race. I think the only race he actually went forward was Hungary, and I think that's going to be a real issue, because just because I think a lot of race pace merchants got moved up. Fair enough. Koyi, myself, JB. There's a lot of drivers who got moved up who were just better in race. But similarly, a lot of quality merchants got moved up as well. And Division 3 this season is still going to be very close. So it's still very possible that he just qualifies at the front and then just drops down in the race. If he sorts out his whatever's going on in the race, whether it's him getting taken out, him just putting himself in silly positions, spinning on his own, making these mistakes, I think he's got a great shot at this title and getting Williams their first trophy. But whatever that disconnection is between quali and race, he needs to sort out.
Right. Can you tell me your P1 before I do? Because I have a feeling that we've gone back to front.
I can, yeah. That's what I was thinking when you were explaining yours. For P1, I have put the main man, CGM Glass. Now, for those of you who are listening to this and are like, what are they on about? CGM Glass, right? You've looked at his last few seasons. His last few seasons were ass, right? This kid has been ass for the last few seasons. But the reason for that, as we know, is because he was on the wheel. Let me tell you guys about Prime CGM Glass on a controller. So he is a former champion, as we said, season 3, which is back when the podcast was actually going at the time, right? He won Division 3 in a ridiculously competitive season. He won it against Ransdale, who's Div 1 now, myself, who's Div 2, Malachi, who's won 2 titles in Division 3. I won 2 as well. He won against Whiffle, he won against More Leader. This was he won against Matt, that's another champion. This is a difficult season,
Prime Div
right?
3.
And he didn't just win it, right? He won it with a race to spare. He won it by 32 points. Then he got moved up to Division 2, and obviously at this point I was in McLaren, so I saw Mill bring him into Division 2, and he cooked there as well. Yeah. That Division 2, I need to bring it up as well, that Division 2 was ridiculous as well. Skiz, this was Prime Skiz, so he was ridiculous then. Maffeo, Bird, Casper, who's Division... Skiz. Yeah, Casper, who's arguably the quickest driver in the league now, and Raven. He finished 6th that season, he finished behind them, but he was very competitive with them, and he missed a lot of races as well.
Well, I only brought him in sort of mid-season after mid-season, and I've always said that second half of the season I had him here. Obviously it was Skiz was in the title fight against I think it was Raven or someone else, and I said that second half of the season CGM was the best driver in the division. He was better than Skiz, my competitor for the title, in the second half of the season. He was getting poles. I had to tell him, like, mate, your teammates in a championship fight here, like, chill out a bit.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So nuts. I think also, he's familiar with the league as well. He was in he was part of the team principal stuff that you were doing in Aston Martin when you pushed him up in season 5 and season 6, I should say. Look, all I have to say is and obviously your worries are right. If he hasn't found his pace, then fair enough. It's difficult to predict him because that was such a long time ago. That was a year and a bit ago. Different game, right? If he manages to find his controller pace that he had in 24 in this game, it might actually be over. Because this guy is no joke. He might actually get his second title in Division 3. So, I have gone for P1 CGM class. But go on, tell me who you picked P1 because you haven't put him, which is crazy.
Of course, like I wanted to put him. I wanted to put him first. Like again, literally agreed with everything he says. If he's the paces as he was, he absolutely bum fiddles the division. But as in, I don't want to rush instantly because obviously he's not. Obviously, he was here with me second half of last season. He's not just a one season thing. Like I'm obviously planning to rebuild him for the long term. If he's ready now instead of in the future, then better for me and better for him. But I put him second purely because I want to see out. Like I want to know first that he's there. I want to know that he can be there before expecting him to win a title. But anyway, my first place, I put Sem in first.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I think the guy. I don't really know if I can say it on the podcast or not. I think the guy is. I think we made an error missing him out in the Div Moves.
Really?
It's what I think. Obviously, because I brought him up in the meeting. I mentioned. I said, "What about Sem?" And we sort of looked at him and went, "He's all right. He's all right for now." Based off, obviously, he's dropping in the races and stuff like he said. So I think he's got very lucky there that he's still in the division. But obviously, you got to take what you're given with. And I just the only man that can beat him in that division is a prime CGM. And if CGM isn't at that, then Sem wins the title with like more clearly than Matt did. And as well, I was also, because obviously I want to put CGM first. I was going to put him first as well, under the basis of I think Sem will go up.
Okay, fair enough.
But obviously, I don't like to make predictions under the fact that it did move. So I have put Sem to win the title with much ease.
Fair enough. Very, very interesting. So we've both been heavy on the compliments for two of the drivers. But if there is a division that brings out a random driver that just beats them both, it's definitely Division 3 that pulls it out.
Absolutely.
Finally, can you hit me with your Constructors champions?
I think I think there's only one team that can win it. I think McLaren obviously have Liam and David. I think Liam will be good this season, but I think Liam and David, like, every time I say it out loud, I can't just help but laugh to myself. Like, Liam and David in a Div 3 McLaren, like, you can't say they can challenge for it with a straight face.
That is crazy.
So I can't put McLaren up there. I don't think, obviously it's not even, there's not even a partial sort of bias with me either. I think the only factor my team has to really compete for the Constructors is obviously if CGM's performing the way he is. Obviously Mike's coming up from Div 4, there's absolutely zero pressure on him because it is a massive project that we've been working on. I don't even know who Red Bull's Div 3 drivers are.
It's Miles and Toth. They brought up two drivers from Division 4.
Yeah. If the Constructors was a Premier League, they'd be relegated. The only team that can, if Williams don't win that Constructors, if they somehow don't win the Constructors, crazy, because Williams have the best lineup by miles, absolute miles. Sem and Oberwolf goes crazy.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you're looking at that division, obviously they're one of the only divisions who've got two drivers who were in Division 3 last season and raced. Sem finishing P4, which, like you said, very lucky he didn't get moved up because P5, P6 and P7 did. So based on results, he's managed to sneak away. Mm-hmm. I think that's definitely based on his race pace. Oberwolf finished 10th, 106 points. He finished lower than Liam. But obviously, if we're looking at Liam being a front runner this season, there's definitely a shout for Oberwolf. I'll be honest, and this is kind of like reverse bias, I actually very much considered Mercedes. I think Micah, or Michael Lewis, is a dark horse in this division, because he wasn't really, if you look at the first half of last season, wasn't really in the title fight. I was looking, me personally, I was mainly looking at David, and of course Legend of Toth, and also WL, and maybe even Wherefore Lime were the ones we were looking at. Michael Lewis had an absolutely sensational second half of the season, brought the gap down to 3 points, nearly won it in the finale with some very, very solid races. He won, he was on the podium for 3 of the last 4 races. In a division as close as Division 4, and I can only assume will be Division 3 as well next season. A run of podiums is absolutely legendary for a title fight. I think it's a little premature to say he'll fight for the title, but I don't think it's away from the bounds of possibility for him to be bringing really good points in consistently for Mercedes for the constructors. Again, also with combination of we don't really know how quick CGM's going to be.
Yeah.
But I actually did write down Mercedes because I really rate Michael Lewis.
Respectable.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of like a blank canvas, if you're looking at just drivers' CVs, right, and you look at Williams, I mean, they've got the best 2 drivers in terms of lineup.
Oh yeah,
Obo Alpha's.
Sure.
Actually, funnily enough, looking at season 3, the one that CGM won, Obo Alpha finished second that season. So
he's there
in the past,
he was there in the season I was in the title fight.
Yeah, so he's a consistent guy. He's always there in the title fight. He's raced in this league since I think season 1. Actually, I think he's proper a G. He just this will be the season he can do it if he does fight for it. We haven't put him top 3. I think Sam does just overshine him in quali, and I think that. I mean, you never know. If he drops down too much in quali, then Obo Alpha is brought into it. But in terms of, like I said, CVs, Williams should win it. And what a season it will be. Williams' first trophy. They've never won a trophy before, so there we go.
Right, fair play for Bit of Merc. I love a Mike praise. I think as a TP, you've always got those like your franchise drivers that like you're the proudest of. Yeah, absolutely gutted he didn't win the title last season. I said if I could trade one of my 2 OCCs for Mike to have won that title, I absolutely would have. He fully deserved that title, and he lost out by just the skin of his teeth. But yeah, we'll see.
Can I tell you why I rate Michael Lewis so highly? Because brother was Division 5 and opted himself to go Division 4. I want to say it was season 4. I'm just getting the stats up right now. Michael Lewis reserved for McLaren when we were back there in season 4. I remember he raced in Miami and he did a very, very solid job, pulled some great moves. I can't find him on results. This season 4, he reserved for us in Miami, yeah. Because I remember that race.
I remember the Miami round, yeah.
Because that was I
remember having to deal with fucking Pink and Liam.
In Division... right, I mean, yeah, deal with them, yeah. But yeah, in Division 5, Michael Lewis, I can't find him on the standings, but there he is, right, 55 points. He scored 55 points in Division 5, right? And he was just a meh. In Miami, when he raced in McLaren, he qualified 12th, finished 7th, right? And after that season, he opted himself to go Division 4. I can't remember the reason, but I remember thinking, okay, I like this guy. This is. It wasn't attendance. I think it was like a drive to go in the faster division because he wants to have a proper challenge. So he didn't get moved up. Yeah, he didn't get moved up. He said, no, give me a harder division. Let's go. And since then, he's been cooking, and then he fought for a title last season, which is, a year later. So his journey from last year, that's the reason, and he doesn't know this because I don't really talk to him. He doesn't know this. This is why Micah is one of my favourite drivers in the entire league in terms of driving, because the last year journey of his has been fully instigated by him. So if he does fight for this title, brother, I'll be cheering him on. And I'm in a different team. You know what I mean?
If there's anyone in the league out of all however 600 members it is, if there's anyone that deserves a title, it's him. Like, he's like the most kindest person that I've ever met. Definitely deserves it. There will come a day where Mike wins a title. I will make it my fucking number 1 project for Mike to win a title.
Do you remember back when he was a bit rubbish? I think it must have been Division 4 at the time. I think it was failing in Astrad on comms. He was in an Aston Martin, and they were cheering him on to finish P15 or something. It was in Saudi. That was a race where they were like cheering him on back then, and that's when his name first got noticed to me, because he was like, I think it was one of his first races in Division 4, I think, and he got moved up on his own.
I remember him from.
He's made the wrong choice here. He's just gonna be a back marker.
I remember him from. I remember the ticket where he was like, "I want to go up to be more competitive." I remember that, but I don't remember. Literally, I don't remember anything on track. I don't even remember him reserving for us in season 4.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
But yeah, played to him.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he can do in this division, and hopefully, for his sake, it'll be a title fight. We've sucked off this Mercedes lineup way too much. I've had enough.
Like,
I hope they finish last, mate.
You have.
I have. It's me. Yeah, it's me. It's my fault.
I just sort of accepted it.
Oh, damn it. Right, we move on to our Saturday division. We move on to Division 2. And we welcome back the feature we had from earlier in the podcast. We bring back our Division 4 predictor. We bring back Ransdale. How are you doing?
Very well, mate. Very well, thank you. Very, very well.
Good stuff. Right, P3, let's go straight into it. P3, who are you saying for Division 2 this season?
Division 2. So, I think as a whole, this division is going to be, again, like every div, very, very close. And I've gone for a name, maybe a bit of more of a rogue shout. But I do back him. I think he's got a fantastic team behind him. I've gone for Bath Destroyer.
Fair, very fair.
I think him and Mercedes. We saw what he did at Sauber. The guy is quick, and I think with the mentoring and coaching from Mill at Mercedes, I think he can get a lot out of this guy. I just think it's hard to look past Bath Destroyer in the top 5, top 4 every race, being really fighting for the top positions. And I've seen him in chat. I've seen him get quite happy with how it's looking for himself next season. And I can't exactly disagree with him. I think he's going to be in a title fight all the way to the end. But I think he'll just miss out to 2 people. So I've got Bath Destroyer in P3.
That is very fair. He had a very solid season. What I noticed from last season's Div 2 is that the title fight was so close between the Mercs and the Ferraris, and then obviously Thala was getting involved there, a little bit of Saban. You had to finish so high on every race just to maintain points, because there were so many people in the title fight that people were just going to gain on you if you don't. That it was mad. So Bath Destroyer, despite finishing 10th in the standings, he didn't actually have a bad season by any means. It doesn't reflect how his season was, not at all.
No. Because that top 2, that top 3, top 4 was the top 3, top 4. Like, just almost every week, just changing up a little bit. I think he's great.
I haven't gone Bath Destroyer P3 there, although as I'm in this division, I am absolutely aware that he's going to be a threat. P3, I've actually gone for myself. I don't want to linger on it too much. I mean, based on because I feel like it's a bit weird. But what I will say is that back when I did the predictions last time round, right? Every time I predicted myself to win the championship, I lost it, and every time I didn't predict myself to win the championship, I won it. So season 1, 4, and we didn't do it for this season, but season 1 and 4. I didn't say I'd win it. I don't even think I put myself top 3 for the season 4 predictions, but I think I put myself like 2nd or 3rd in season 1, and then I ended up winning it. And then the other seasons, I said I'd win it, and then had a really awkward moment where I just didn't. So I put myself P3 because I think P3 is like an honest, modest, just like I think I'll do okay. But enough of that.
I'd say that's very fair. And enough of that. Well, we can move past that one.
Well, to be fair, what I will say is that so many people are gassing me up. Like I'm like Jesus, gonna be Jesus in this division. Like, guys, like, do you not know what Bath Destroyer can do? Like, damn. But anyway. I appreciate it, boys. I appreciate everyone picking me. Anyway, Division 2, P2. Hit me with your P2 in Division 2.
P2. So P2, I've got for a guy that I think he was promoted from last season. I think he showed some fantastic pace when he was driving the back end of last season. And he's gone to a team with a new TP, who I think is going to do very well. I've gone Ted Head. in Red Bull.
Very fair. So fair.
I think that he is going to be incredible in a full-time seat, because the pace he's shown last season as a reserve, top end every single week.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't. It was too late in the season. A lot of people had their divs lined up, and he just couldn't get into a seat anywhere. But what he's done, he's kept it low. He's managed to keep himself available for this season and not tie himself up to the team. Gone to Red Bull, where I think worldwide will be doing some wonderful things over there. And yeah, I just think the guy's got some incredible pace, and I do fancy him. I do fancy him.
I'll talk more about Red Bull as a team and the new TP and stuff later on, but I will say now I'm really excited for worldwide. I think worldwide is going to be fantastic in Red Bull. But we'll get behind that later. In terms of Ted Head's season, qualified between P4 and P6 every race. In the 4 he did. I raced physically straight up against him in only 2 of them, because I didn't race in Vegas, and Kota I did quite well. But Jeddah and Baku, and he was ahead of me. And well, let me tell you, I was actually just clinging onto his DRS. Like there was no one in that division that made me feel so helpless compared to Ted Ed. Like, I was actually just clinging onto DRS for my life. He was very, very quick and surprised me. I wasn't ready for that. In Division 2, I think he'll do fantastic. I haven't put in P2, but he's 100% a dark horse, because if you don't know who Ted Head is, I think people will know at the end of the season for sure. What a signing from Red Bull.
Absolutely.
Big signing.
Absolutely.
P2, and this is going to surprise a lot of people, because I've got a bit of history with this guy. And I think he'll do very well. And we've had our moments, in previous seasons. We've had our rivalries, but I think this guy does have one up on me, based on his season last season. He had, again, just like Bath Destroyer, kind of overshadowed maybe by the higher drivers that were just maintaining the top 4 or 5 positions and just weren't able to be touched. But you shouldn't just overlook this guy's season. I have gone more leader P2. I have said he's going to beat me.
Ooh, damn.
Obviously we were the title fighters back in season 4. I did manage to beat him in the final round. I think he will beat me this time round. I've raced him once or twice in other leagues outside of XRS. He's quick. He is proper quick, and I think I got to give it to the guy. You know what I mean? I got to give it to the guy. He is he's always there. What I will say, in season 4, this guy's race pace is so stupid. Like, his tyres just don't go off. And I remember we were working out, certainly in the second half of the season, me and you obviously were teammates, we were working out what do we actually do in this circumstance. You remember Kota, where we did the hard, we did the hard medium. Me, you, and he did hard medium, and brother just went. We couldn't cut through because the tyres were gone, and he was still overtaking people.
He was still overtaking people. It was ridiculous, bro. It was ridiculous. He is fantastic, man. He's such a good driver. Of course, season 4 happened. We had a great battle. All 3 of us, and Alec. All of us had great seasons that season, and it took right down to the right wire where my goat Avinash Price won. But I don't think that's a bad shout whatsoever. I think he's going to be great.
Jenny, you know what? As much as I hate losing to Americans, because that is actually what it boils down to. I don't like losing to Americans because F1 is the European sport. You know what I mean? We can't have these Americans being quicker than us. But I feel like I get prided a lot for being kind of a race-based merchant. I'm not hugely great at quality, certainly not last season. But race-based, I'm good. And this guy actually just out-race-paced me. That's actually what it was for a lot of that season. I just couldn't
out-race-paced to race-pace, mate. It was
it
was quite ridiculous, season 4, bro. That was, him in season 4 was incredible. Of course, now we're at season 8 and a different game. So, and I've seen bits of him. I have kept my eye on more leader, but I back it entirely. I'd say that's a great shout.
Yeah, so I wish him the best of luck, mate. He does deserve a championship, to be fair. And in Williams as well. First trophy for Williams, potentially, which is very exciting. Is he in Williams, or have I got that wrong? Am I looking at last season? Last season was in Williams. What's he in now? He is in Williams still, yeah.
He's in Williams still, yeah. Sorry.
Right, give me your P1, please.
Oh, my P1, mate. My P1. So, this is probably the most motivated guy I have ever seen in XRS, right? I think there's a lot of momentum that comes with this guy. he is a regular title fighter, and I think he has incredible race pace. I'm going to stand up in my chair and say that Avinash Tilra Price Raja wins Division 2. He's got it. He's got it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. I just think the momentum coming in from last season, from you coming down and you still winning the title, even though you were quite far out last season. What was that, over 100 points or just under? I think by the time you got moved down.
I'm not sure of it, yeah.
I can't remember. But you were a long way off, and you proved a point to everybody that you are fast and you are going to be there to be reckoned with. And I think with what we've done with the cap of Div 1, we've moved up a lot of Div 2. So this Division 2 is very similar to what we raced last season, but in Division 3. So I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Avinash Tilra Price wins Division 2.
I appreciate that. Damn, boys, you're putting pressure on me, everyone. Damn. Someone talk about Malachi, you know what I mean? Someone talk like Malachi.
That's why I was being quiet, bro. You sat myself, when you were saying about yourself. Okay, you went, mate.
I do appreciate it, boys. I do appreciate it. But, I don't know what to say. No comment.
No comment.
P1.
I'll comment, mate. It's fantastic.
My P1, obviously, I haven't put myself because I put myself P3. Funnily enough, my P1 is Ted Head. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
He is that dark horse, and over a season, because I only raced him 2 races. Obviously, at that point, he was there was no title fight for him. He was just an extra. Over a season, this guy could be a serious threat, because obviously, like you said, this division is actually quite similar to Division 3 last season, with a few extra names. Obviously, Barth Destroyer and Morleader being the big two, I think. But the one that came from Division 3 that is genuinely a threat over a season, I think, is probably Ted Head for the most part of it. Obviously, Koi, Tolu, Brewdog, if they hook up with... I mean, it's only 8 race season, so if they hook it up, they could absolutely be part of it as well. I'm sure they won't be too far away, regardless. But I think Ted Head with a full season is going to be a problem. So, I've put him P1. Quick guy. Very quick guy.
No, mate, I rate it. As I say, he's my P2, but I just think... I think Ted Head is going to have a great season. I think it's going to be so close with all of you guys. Yeah. There's so many names I left out that I'd like to have put in. But there's the top end of Division 2 is going to be one to watch on a Saturday night, man. I'm telling you, don't go out on your parties, man. Sit down, watch XRS streams, and watch this cook of Division 2 this season. It's going to be incredible.
There is, we can always do honourable mentions. With Mill, we did a couple honourable mentions for drivers that we felt should be mentioned. I'm looking at that division. Obviously, 2 big names, certainly in qualifying, 2 qualifying specialists are Brewdog and English. If they can fix up that kind of change from being on soft to being on mediums and hards, then I don't think there's anything anyone could do. Especially English. If English is able to match his hard pace with his soft pace, then I don't know if there's anything we can do. But he hasn't managed to do that yet. So. That's a serious threat from Aston Martin's side. Great signing from Aston Martin. In terms of raw pace, English is going to be a real threat. Obviously, there's loads of guys from the division that's just come up. Malachi, obviously, last time we saw Malachi race, he literally won his 2nd title. So to write him off would be silly as well. Again, it's a bit of inside knowledge, I suppose, but I know Amy, my teammate, is probably quicker than me, I'll be perfectly honest. She's actually a little bit quicker than me. So over a season, we'll see how committed she is and whatnot, but she's definitely someone to keep an eye on as well. I just find it's a bit biased if I put her in, I feel. Because I have 2 McLarens, but...
having 2 McLarens in there again, but man, it's I think Amy's definitely got an honourable mention for me. I think looking at her pace is quite scary, to be honest. I think she's going to catch a lot of people by surprise if you don't know who she is by now. Then, as you said earlier, I think they'll know by the end of the season who this is. I think her pace is incredible. I think she'll be up there, but unfortunately, you can only have 3 in the top 3. So
I hope she becomes a regular. I'll say that because her pace is very good and she's a good driver. I've raced against her wheel to wheel, and she's a good driver, very good quality. So I hope she becomes a regular because obviously I've scouted her for this one season, but
I hope she does.
No harm in getting some more good drivers. Anyway, right, we move straight on for our final division, Division 1, and we continue with Ramsdale. He stays with us.
Oh, hang on a sec. Did we say the Welsh Constructors Champion in Division 2?
Oh, we haven't. Oh my God, you're spot on. You're actually spot on. I've just moved on.
Can't be
how many
missing that
times
one.
I used to get that all the time as well. Oh my God, we forgot it. Right, Division 2 Constructors, hit me with it. Go on.
So, I could go McLaren, right? I could.
Oh my God, this is
the.
the... So, no, let's just get this straight before we go on. Before we move on, right? You're telling me you've been saying McLaren all the way through the podcast, but when it gets to me, you're like, yeah, you know what, actually, that's just not...
See, I could go McLaren. I could. I think it's going to be so close.
It is going to be so close, yeah.
But I've given it to Red Bull.
Very fair.
I think this prediction for me all relies on if Brewdog can do laps without it being in time trial. If he can do laps and manage wear and battery instead of just restarting laps after time trial, my God, mate, Ted Head and Brewdog would be insanity. And I think it's a massive cook from Worldwide, but he's got a job. He's got a job to do Worldwide with that one. But that, for me, is difficult to look past. I think Red Bull, if they hook it, my God, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I think it's spot on with that, actually. I think there's a couple teams here that, like, we've talked about some of their drivers. We haven't talked about the second driver in that seat. So obviously myself and Amy, I mean, like I said, Amy's a blank canvas for everyone in the league, so we don't really know about her. But I have put McLaren. I do back myself and I do back Amy. I think she's the same pace as me. So if she commits to the league, then I'm very confident. But like you said, I mean, Red Bull, you're absolutely spot on. If Brewdog locks in and stops playing with time trial, then it might actually be over, because Red Bull have got a ridiculous lineup. You can look at Mercedes as well. Bath Destroyer is fantastic. Coy was in the title fight last season. There's no way he's not in this title fight, or at least close to it. No. You can say the same about Williams as well. I mean, I'm not sure how many people remember Hazer. He was just an okay Division 2 driver. He was decent. Not sure what he's like in this game, but more leader. Again, I mean, he's going to be at the front. So the points put together, especially considering it's an 8-race season, so stuff goes wrong. You know, a couple of DNFs for a team that we might see as a favourite, and Williams will sneak their way in, I'm sure. So, it's going to be really close. But I have backed McLaren. I have backed ourselves. I'm going to say 3-1.
I back us as well, bro. But I think Red Bull, as you say, for me it just depends on Brewdog. I think Ted has absolutely got the pace. It's can Brewdog lock in? And I hope me saying this hasn't made him just all of a sudden lock in, because that's not good for me. But like, they've got me. They've got my prediction. Absolutely. I think Red Bull might nick this one.
Fair. Right, we move on finally now. Not too early this time, just the perfect time. Put Division 1 on our Sunday division. And what I will say before we get started, finally, a proper division, not a silly esports just drop in, drop out and win the title. Like, obviously, if you don't know, because maybe you're just new to the league or something. So Division 1, back in Season 1, we had a pace cap just to keep Division 1 competitive, because if you've got to think, right, with no cap at the top of a division, you can bring in, hypothetically, you could bring in Jarno Opmeer. He'd do 2 races, or a few races, win the title just based on winning every of the races he's done, and then leave. And that's literally what we've seen. I mean, Leo Lund won every race he didn't do any of the second half really, and won the title based on that. Same for Elias the season before. And then the season before that, when Revrod won it, you can argue, I mean, he was just consistent. None of the really quick esports people committed enough, so they ended up going to just the next fastest person who did show up for every race. You know what I mean? There's never actually been, if you really deep it, that much of a title fight in Division 1. Finally, this season, we might see it. What do you think?
I think we're going to have a very intense title fight for Division 1. I think what we've done is right. I think we've done the best thing for the league and fixing Division 1 and stopping the 10 attended, stopping the 12 people turn up and people getting annoyed that certain people were flying around, not being able to catch people. I think we fixed, hopefully, fingers crossed, hope we fixed this division, and really hope that it can just be end like any other div, and we get good attendance and we get really close title fights. That's all I want, man. All the way down, that's all I want. It's really close title fights and good people racing. And I think we have got that for Division 1 this season. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good one. Hit me with your P3. Let's begin.
P3. So I think this is this is the roguish shout I've ever had. And I've only ever done this once.
I like that.
Right,
I love
it's
that.
the roguish shout I think I could have ever had. I have raced with this guy, not as a teammate, but in the same team. He's got really good mentality. He is just an incredible person, and I think, based off what he did last season, I think he can continue this and go into the season with some incredible pace. I got Jaipo Jippy, mate, in my P3, the Mercedes man, the Mercedes the defending Division 2 champion. I've got him continuing and going straight into P3 in Division 1.
That actually leads so perfectly into my P3, because I haven't gone for Jaipo, and I swapped him out. I had him there, and I've actually swapped him out for his teammate Neb Restro.
Oh yeah.
And I'll give a spoiler that I haven't put Jaipo P2 and P1. Now, I want to give my explanation, right, because it's interesting, because we've gone for the two teammates. Even though Jaipo beat Neb last season, I want to give you my explanation. Nothing against Jaipo, first of all. Fantastic. Won the title fight. One of the hardest title fights to win, because you're up against so many people. So well done to him. And by no means do I think he's going to do badly in Division 1. I think he'll do very well. But I actually looked into their races, and Neb actually beat Jaipo in both head-to-head in quali and in race. It was 7-4 in quali and 6-5 in the race. So in the 11 races they did together, he actually was better. And so it potentially maybe came down to attendance. Actually, I'll look at that now. Completed races for Jaipo was 13. Completed races for Neb was 12. So actually, there was only one less, to be fair. And he ended up beating him by 17 points, which is actually quite a substantial amount, to be fair, considering only one race difference, I suppose. But I think Neb will mix into a faster group, just better based on my experience with him. Like, I think he's used to being up against really quick people. And his stronger quality, certainly from last season, will help out, because what I said earlier in the podcast, which you weren't here for when I was with Mill, is that I think in like divisions like Division 5 and 4, maybe the lower divisions, quality isn't as important. Obviously, quality is very important, especially in this game with the dirty air. But it isn't as important as you see with the top divisions, in my opinion, because it also comes down to consistency. It's not necessarily dirtier in Division 5, but it's much less consistent. You're more likely to make a mistake and hit a wall, or spin, or hit a curb wrong and go deep for a Division 5 driver than you will Division 1, just because they're less experienced and they're not used to certain circumstances, and you're just not as fast, right? So when you get to Division 1, where I think quality will be important, I think there is an advantage for Neb just by starting higher up than Jaipo. Neb hit some insane qualities last season, I think it's fair to say. I'm not sure how many poles he got, I'll check now. But
he was incredible.
4 poles, yeah.
So many laps were quicker than me. And a lot of Division 1 as well, by the way. Like, it wasn't just me. Like, a lot of Div 1, he was quicker than on certain tracks last season. And I agree. If he can bring that on, I absolutely back him to do very, very well. It was a toss-up between the two Mercedes drivers for me for this spot. I gave it to Jaipo because of I just feel the momentum of winning, and I spoke to him a little bit, and he's very looking forward to this. He sent me some times. He's down there. I'm going, brother, I can't touch that. He's going to be really, really, really good. But Neb as well, bro. Neb, as you say, the experience that Neb has, he's Division 1 for a long time. He's raced these people a lot. He's raced in sort of the esportsy scene as well. I've seen him about in there, so he's used to racing in these fast divs with fast people. I don't know if Jaipo's done that before. I don't know him like that. So yeah, that gives Neb an edge. But as I say, I've given it to Jaipo.
Obviously, it's an 8-race season, so it's all to play for, kind of thing. I mean, they were against each other in last season. Did you see it getting vicious at all? Were they fighting each other, or was it all part of the team game still?
I think the only time... Now, Mill will happily correct me if I'm wrong. But I think what I saw in Singapore was the two drivers racing for themselves. Of course, in the same team, but they were both in the title fight. They both could have won it that day. So I think it was very much a leave me alone and let me do my thing type race, and they were battling. I'm pretty sure I saw the two Mercs going a little bit hammer and tong with each other sometimes. I think they could do it again. But yeah, I've got Jaipo to be free.
Fair enough. I think if we're looking at last season, if you're looking at the standings, Mercedes did end up finishing P1 and P2, despite it being almost a 5-way title fight, right, between Fallow and the two Ferraris. And they did it by a decently substantial margin. Jaipo beat Neb by 17 points. Neb beat Fallow by a further 17, which means the gap between Jaipo and a non-Mercedes driver was 34 points. So a full race, bear in mind. Mm-hmm. So while it was close, I think it's fair to say that they had it relatively comfortably by the end of the season. This season won't be so much that easy. I think it's very fair they'll both be in the title fight, but they'll have to also be concerned about other drivers. So do you think there'll be an element at some point of, okay, whoever's ahead at this point in the standings, the other one just goes as a team driver, just to confirm the drivers for one of them?
Potentially, yeah. It depends how Mill wants to play this. If it is that close, then Mill's a very experienced man. I'm sure he's played the situation a few times before. He'll know what to do. But yeah, I think it could get a bit dicey because that's a very good Division 1 lineup. So is. I think they're both going to be there, and at the front that can cause some issues with team games and stuff like that, because they both will be with each other. So Mercedes is going to be a bit difficult next season to get past, I think, at the front end of Division 1, because they're going to be with each other. For
sure, yeah. Right, that's only P3. P2, who have you done for P2?
P2, I've gone for a man that I sat in the rear wing of for a lot of last season. I think this guy's incredible. And is it track specific? I don't think so. I think this guy has just got a lot of pace, and now that the division has slowed, I think his effort will go up, and I think he's going to be very, very difficult to beat. I've gone with Rev Rob from Alpine.
That is exactly who I've gone for.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I think Rev Rob's been here a long time. He knows the ball. He knows the game. I just think he's going to be very difficult to beat. There's points last season where I could keep with him, and there's points last season where he was in another postcode to me, race pace wise and quality pace wise, just in pace in general. And I think Alpine have got a good lineup with him and Sab. I think that's a great lineup with each other. But I just got Rev Rob nicking this in P2. I think that's what I've gone with.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've gone spot on, same as with Rev Rob. Well, I've noticed last season that maybe besides Austria, his quali pace wasn't huge. He was actually outside the top 10 for the majority of the season. Obviously, that's a little bit tainted because the season was kind of full of a mismatch of top esports drivers. So it's kind of difficult to get an accurate result there. But what you can see is his race pace is very solid. He did manage to recover it to top 10, top 5 actually, very regularly. So with a more open division, where he will probably be qualifying closer to the front, maintaining that race pace, I think, will give him a massive edge. And which is interesting, actually, because if you remember back in Season 3, Season 4, he was Teshaby's teammate in McLaren. Yes. And he was, first of all, completely the second role, but second of all, the second driver. But second of all, he was also very much of a quality merchant. Like, his race, he seems to get in incidents all the time. And it seems to be the dead opposite now. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's had his fair share of arguments with the stewards, but we have seen a big turnaround. As Season 5, certainly driving for me, he was a massive, massive part of why we won that OCC. And I think the consistency will continue to this season. I think he'll finish P2, but it will be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close all down, because these drivers are the top drivers in the league, and I just feel that you can be very fast in qualifying, absolutely, in this division, but I feel race pace wise, unless you are quite literally a second slower than the cars ahead, it's going to be a DRS trend this entire race. And I think that Rev Rob has got some incredible quality pace as well. I think he's very fast. You know, sometimes you see laps and they pop up once you're in an out lap or an in lap, and you go, yeah, I can't do that.
That's the worst feeling, man.
I can't do that. And yeah, as I said, I think with the cap, I think it's all to play for in terms of what we were fighting for P4, P5 quite regularly last season in races. I think now that turns into P1. I think Rev Rob's gonna have. He's got a good season coming. I think.
Finally, hit me with your P1. He will be known as the fastest driver in the league. He will win Division 1, top of the top.
Top of the top. So the top of the top driver for me, the fastest man in XRS right now. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. The consistency from this guy is incredible. I raced with him in XRS, and I've raced with him many times outside of it. This guy is untouchable in races, bro. It's not funny. He knows how to win. He's won 2 Division 2s. He knows how to win. He knows how to pull it together. And it is the fastest I've ever seen the guy. Known him for ages, it feels like now. And this is the top game from him. I think Casper wins Division 1.
Fair. I mean, is there any... There's actually nothing more to say, is there?
No.
I mean...
No.
He's a proven champion, proven driver, and all that intro, and I've not even gone for him. My P1 is not Casper.
Damn, bro.
I'll tell you why. I think it's fair to say he's the fastest driver in the league right now, and his consistency is ridiculous. And the worst part of it is, I'll tell you exactly what the worst part is. Right, he was slower than me in F1 22. And I was ass in 2022. Right, I was poo. That was actually my first league racing game. Right, and he was in that season. I drove for Ferrari, drove for VCAR back in, or AlphaTauri, I should say, back in KRL, the league before XRS. I've known Casper for over 3 years now. Been racing with him, racing against him, and now brother is actually just so gone. It's like, obviously we were in the same division in KRL. I'd actually made the case I was faster than him for that first season. The second season he went to Ferrari and just found pace. Then it turned out I didn't even have like a direct drive force feedback wheel. Went to Division 2 for XRS when I went to Division 3. Just found pace and started just dogging Division 2. Won it twice. And now he's gone to Division 1. And it's not even like he's just a Division 1 driver, right? No, he's like matching top esport people at certain tracks. Like some of the laps this kid was doing, right, during last season is so stupid. And the reason why I haven't put him in top 3 is because this guy is not making it to the end of the season with Finley Millard in the admin team. I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to get moved to Division X at ASAP, as soon as possible. Next day delivery, UPS. This guy is not making it to the end of the season.
Oh man, yeah.
That's a threat. You know what is right? One of us is going to be right. He's either not making it to the end of the season or he's going to win it. So one of us will be right. You know what I mean?
Hey, and that's a TP. That's a risky take, bro.
It is a risky. You know what? There we go. That is the insight of a TP signing him. It's risky. If you know a driver's going to get moved up or is at risk of getting moved up, you can sign them for good results that first 3 or 4 races. But there is a risk that you just lose them, and that puts you in a bit of a problem because no one wants to be running around for drivers mid-season.
No, I've done that a few times in the past season. It's not fun. But hey, Casper is a risk. We all know that because of how fast he is. But it's a risk I'm willing to take to try and win this man Division 1.
Fair, very fair, very fair. Like I said, he was not my P1. My actual P1 is his teammate. It is. It is Ransdell. It is. Yeah, you gave me P1. I've actually given you P1 as well. Ransdell is a 0.5 time world champion. He missed out on Division 2, unfortunately, for getting moved up. And I do have to take partially to blame for that. But he is back in Division 1. This guy has found so much pace in this game. We were same division teammates. Literally the same pace in Division 3. And when I say same pace, it's like we jump onto practice together and we would be within a 1/10 of a second every single track, right? The only track was different, right? Was he was a good couple tenths quicker than me in Jeddah and I was a good couple tenths quicker than him in Bahrain, purely because I was controller, he was wheel. But literally every other track, we were so close. And in this game, I mean, man, you've taken off. You're Division 1 now, and with the aliens gone, with the esports people gone, I think the door is open, man. I think the door is open. I think it's there. It's there for the taking.
Yeah, as you say, it's when I did it to you in Division 2, it's very difficult to comment on yourself on these things. But as I said, I'm really looking forward to this, man. I don't think I haven't been this motivated for a while for a season after looking at what we've done here. So. And with all the resources we have at our disposal at McLaren, I reckon it is on. But I haven't put me in top 3 because I can't do that.
Humble guy. I didn't. I put myself top 3. I ain't humble. Yeah, fair dude. Right, finally, before we finish up, Constructors Championship. What are you saying?
Now, the constructors is really difficult here, because of what we've already mentioned, with the risk that we have taken at McLaren with our Division 1 lineup. If it stays, we win it. And do you know what? I reckon we do. I reckon we win it. I've got McLaren. I reckon we bet us over the line with Casper and myself. A very quick honourable mention to the likes of Mercedes. I think Ferrari have a great lineup for this season. I haven't mentioned them yet. I think they're fantastic. Going into Division 1, Raven and Alex. I think that's a great lineup. Very consistent. But as Alpine as well, I think Alpine are a great shout for this P1 in the constructors.
Yeah, for sure.
With Rev Rob and Sab, two very fast drivers. Pain in my ass last season, for sure, both of them. But yeah, I've given it to us here. I've going to go with McLaren for Division 1.
Yeah, I mean, I've agreed. I think even if Casper gets moved up mid-season, that's 4 out of 8 races. I think that'll be enough points from his point of view. I've already said you're going to win the title. I think you're going to be up there too. So massive points from your side. I think even a replacement for Casper, if needed, is just a decent driver who just scores the occasional points. I think will be okay. Like you said, Mercedes, Alpine, Ferrari. I'd argue even VCarb. I mean, like Callum and Corruption. I mean, Corruption's found some mega pace. Obviously, element of sandbagging coming in there, but he has some mental pace.
Sorry, Panda.
Callum as well. Callum needs to not be mentioned. And a driver actually I want to talk about, who we haven't talked about, and I don't think he's ever been talked about in these podcasts, despite he's been racing for however many seasons, right? And there's a good reason for that, right? Finally, Courts. Because this guy, I mean, I'm guessing his only availability, right? He's been Division 1 since he joined XRS, which I don't even remember when it was. He might actually be in a proper OG, Season 2, Season 3, right? He's always been Division 1. I'm guessing that's availability. He couldn't go Division 2. Because I'll be real, he was Division 2 pace this whole time. He's never really been like a title fighter, never been near it. But I mean, because we've had aliens in Division 1. Finally, we've got a pace cap. And there's an opportunity for him to shine. Because, I mean, fair play to him. He shows up. He's consistent. He's always never given up on XRS, even though he's been in a division that's been obviously very difficult for him. He's always been around. He's never just given up on the league and gone somewhere else where he might be more consistent. Now finally is his chance to actually fight for a title. Or fight for something up there. And I'll tell you what, I'm a Courts fan this season too. I'm cheering him on as well, because I hope he does well, because he does deserve it.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult to disagree. I think Courts has shown some decent pace over time. Definitely, I wouldn't say in Division 1, but as you say, I think that's more. It could possibly be more availability than anything else. But I agree. These boys coming up, we've got almost half, I feel, of Division 2 coming up here, and that's his pace. Yeah. So take them up, and he's passing all of those guys, talking P10, P9. And it's going to be so close. Absolutely, I think Courts is. I think it's finally Courts' season to have some to really show what he's made of in this league after so long. I feel he's been here, but I think that it's finally time for him to show what he's got. And there's a few drivers around his pace, I feel, that will do quite well this season because of the moves we've done. I think Maffio's one of them. I think Maffio's been in Division 1 for a while, and he signed. I can't remember where he signed to, but I know he signed to somebody. Sauber. Yeah, I don't hate a Maffio shout of him doing okay, and the sort of typical lower end of Division 1. I think are going to be very excited for this season, and they're going to, and hopefully, the idea is that they practice and they put a lot of effort in, because whatever the effort they put in, they're going to get out of it in these races. That's what I'd be telling a lot of my drivers, is whatever you put in, you'll get out. Absolutely, that's how it works in these division races where they're so close. An extra tenth can go from P6 to P1. Like everything counts, and hopefully in Division 1, seeing with what we've done, it pushes a lot of these drivers to just go that extra mile in terms of practice, or put in just that tiny bit more effort in, because they will see. They'll see the proofs in the pudding on this one. They will see themselves shoot up. And I think as soon as they start winning and as soon as they start doing well, I think they're going to really enjoy it. I'm going to stay there. So I think we've got a very comp Division 1 coming up here.
I'm just glad finally we've got 5 competitive divisions at the front, because obviously the risk of it having no boundary at the top just allows the Jan Altmairs of the world to jump in for one race and just kind of take the title fight away from the importance of P1 kind of thing. Because if you finish P1 in any other divisions, that's great. You're gaining points on your rivals, but the chances of you finishing P1 when there's top esport people coming in, it's difficult. Because having no bottom division and bottom boundary in Division 5 isn't really an issue.
No, it's not. It's not. But as you say, that no boundary in 1 for a while just meant, as you say, the top esports lads would come in and some of them would start the back and still win by a minute, because they're just that quick. It's another level, I feel, that some of those guys, and because they're not there, I just really, it's more of a hope for me as well. I really hope that these drivers in Division 1 can really just see that and go, I've got a chance here. Constructors or drivers, I've got a chance here. No longer am I racing against Leo Lund. I really hope I've got a chance to do something, and I think it's going to make Division 1 really close.
Yeah,
finally.
I think so too. I hope a lot of these Division 1 drivers who have had to deal with the esport drivers before, finally, especially at courts, see just clean air in front of them. They see the sun coming out behind the clouds, and they see opportunity and they see possibility, and they're looking forward to this season. That's what I really hope.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree entirely.
Here we go, and to finish off the podcast, we go to the part which I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to, where we talk about probably a lot of the people in the league now to get our final OCC standings. Not just top 3, not just your first. We're going to go through all 10. Our top 10, who we think is going to finish where in the overall Constructors' Championship, the biggest trophy of the season. And to do it with me, we bring in our third and final guest of the podcast. It is the man who won Division 4, the man who bottled Division 4. He's done it all. Oh. He's now in Division 3. He's come back to McLaren. It's Doggy Dog. It's 70v3. It is Liam. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. It's obviously a pleasure to be on the podcast. This is a big privilege. Yeah, mate, I'm excited to break some people's hearts in the league, but also, give people that confidence boost of how well I think they're going to do.
I feel, as I said to you earlier, obviously in the normal divisions we're looking at just the top drivers, right? Top constructors, top everything, right? But if it's OCC, We're also looking at the bottom. And who is there in the league that could be more brutal than the man who's got 4 server warnings? So we had to bring you in,
It's only right. It is only right.
Right, let us start at the bottom. Hit me with your P10. Who do you think is finishing dead last? And by the way, guys, before we get started, don't take it personally. We're not calling you shit. We're not calling you shit, but we kind of are. Let's get started, Liam. What are you saying, P10?
I think this is quite a no-brainer, especially after some recent news. In 8 races, it is going to be hard to claw back from losing 125 points. And unfortunately, I am in fact going with Gone to the Moon's team. I'm going with Alpine.
Yeah.
It's going to be just a rough one, especially in 8 races, starting 125 back. They've got good drivers. They've got Kua in Div 4. I think he'll do good. Big B as well in Div 4. He'll do all right. Got JMO Div 5. He'll be sound. Rev Robin, Sab in Div 1. But I don't know. It is a bit too extreme to come back from that any higher than last, I feel.
Fair enough. I'm actually going to hit you with a surprising one. I've not gone for Alpine last. I think there's a team out there that's even worse.
What?
Obviously, yeah, so for those of you who haven't kept an eye on transfers, it actually got announced last night. Was it last night? Yesterday, yeah?
Yeah. Last night.
Alpine have an absolute howler, and in their contracts, when they were sorting their contracts out, they missed a step whether you have to go through a signing form. Gone to the Moon, who, I will say, by the way, as a team principal, has been cooking. Alpine finished 5th last season, their best result since Jay Snowy back in Season 4. Very, very solid, but he's completely forgotten to do a signing form. So every single driver he signed this window is technically illegal. The signing's gone through, but he's taken a penalty for it. It's 25 points for each one and a 10 million fine. And he's done it 5 times. 125 points and 50 mil in the bank gone. Now, you don't know this, Liam, actually, but I'll tell you. In terms of budgets, they are actually they've got the least money of any team, even before the penalty. They're now down to 30 mil. If they finish last, they're going to have no prize money, pretty much.
It could be ropes for the next season for them. Oh,
this could be really bad for Alpine.
well,
in
I'm
the long
curious
term.
now. Who you put behind them? Like,
there is a team, however, I think on the grid that is worse. I actually do rate the Alpine team quite a lot. I think it's unfortunate they got a penalty because they could definitely be challenging for the top half. Last place, I've gone for Aston Martin. I do not rate Aston's lineup at all. I think their standout driver is absolutely going to be Gordo. I think if Gordo rocks up to most of the races in Division 5, he's going to be a main point scorer for them. Across the rest of the division, it's just very inconsistent. I mean, there's a lot of drivers here who've got pace. I mean, we've seen in certain qualies, Kickstrand's put in some incredible laps. Harry, Mini Walker, especially English as well, put some incredible laps in, but they just seem to be a bit inconsistent. There's a few new drivers or newer drivers that we don't know too much. Obviously, Saban we've not seen in Division 1, neither Nat in Division 1 as well. So there's a lot of question marks around the team. I think obviously they've got some pace in the team, but it's just a race consistency. I don't back it from Aston Martin, you know.
I mean, I do hear it, but I just can't believe that you think that Alpine aren't coming last. I can't believe it.
I think Alpine will bring it back. They've got a lot of good drivers. We'll talk about them when we get there. Aston Martin finished last season as well. They'll be the second team actually after Alpine who've got last back to back. If I get it right, they're the only other team that got last back to back. Big up Baldy man. Anyway, we'll move on to 9th place. Hit me with your 9th place. This is who you'd actually say is last, right? Without Alpine's penalty.
Now, I will cut this team some slack because it's a new TP, so I can understand. But I'm actually going with Sauber to go in P9.
Fair.
I do not rate the lineup in the slightest, to be honest. I mean, I think Tolo will do all right in Div 2, and obviously the other Div 2 has not been announced at the time of recording, is it?
No.
But I don't know, just across the divs, the lineup isn't striking me as something that's gonna be up there, challenging for anything good.
That's fair. I mean, Sauber in their history have got one trophy, and it was from season 1, and obviously that was when they were Alfa Romeo as well. So
exactly, yeah, and that was Pink and Dodo in
yeah,
3.
Who are teammates again now? So we'll talk about that shortly.
That's weird, actually.
My P9, you're gonna be surprised about this as well because I still haven't gone for Alpine.
Oh.
I've matched you. I've gone for Sauber. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a level of you've got to cut them slack because it's a new CP, and he's also Scarata's quite new to the league as well. So
yeah,
there's a lot of names to get used to. If you compare him to someone like Worldwide, who's been in the league for a long time before becoming a CP, he knows a lot of the names. He knows who's top in the divisions. He knows who to aim for, and that's why I think Red Bull's got a really good lineup. We'll talk about them later. Sauber, I mean, for someone who's newer to the league, I think it's a good team to go for because they've not really got much history. They haven't won anything in a long time. So he's rebuilding from a low team already, so that's fine. I think they've got a few decent signings. I think, like you said, Tolu is definitely their main guy in Division 2. He's got a lot of pace. I think Maffio in Division 1, if he really locks in, I think he'll do well, but we haven't seen him at kind of full push, full pace and actually trying for quite a while, so we'll see how he takes to the new team. Beyond that, the signings are just okay. But the quality of team you need to actually fight for an OCC. I mean, you need title fighters in all 10 seats pretty much to be able to fight for an OCC, or at least consistently up there. And I don't think Sauber are going to get there this season. And I've put Alpine above because I just rate their lineup. So there we go.
Yeah, that's not ridiculous, mate. The Alpine lineup is good. It is a nice lineup.
But they have just thrown it all away, pretty much. But anyway, right, P8. Hit me with P8.
No, I think you do your P8 first, mate.
Okay.
We switch it around.
P8, I have put Alpine. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Finally.
Yeah. In a perfect world, when they actually got their contracts right, I think Alpine would genuinely fight for that P4 spot. I think P4, we were talking about it earlier, is a really highly contested spot. They would absolutely be in there. They've got some great lineup. I mean, I think Rev Rob and Saab is one of the better Div 1 lineups for sure. They've brought back Admiral, who I think will be strong in Division 3. Division 4, despite the fact they're both very jarring, Big B and Kua are going to do well. I think they could even fight for constructors. Jamo was solid last season in Division 5, and that was when Tom and Panda and stuff were in there. So with them gone, I think he'd be maybe even fine for the title. If he hooks the races up, there's only 8 races. So I think there's an argument that Alpine would even get a P4, which would be their best result, even better result than they got last season. Gone to the Moon's been on a massive trajectory with Alpine. He's brought that team up. He brought Williams up when he was in a Williams TP. If actually, in terms of successful TPs, he's actually the most successful Williams TP in terms of results. And he's chasing Snowy now for Alpine. Got 2 trophies last season.
He is a good TP, isn't he? He's a mint TP. You know, you can tell by his lineup. He knows what to do. He's just absolutely bottled it now, not putting assignments on the app. I don't know. What's going through the guy's mind with that?
I mean, you know what I've noticed actually? I'm just looking at it now. So he's got 3 trophies since being a TP, which is quite impressive. All of them, of course, with Alpine.
Wow.
And 2 of the 3 were... Actually, all 3 of them are him beating Ozers. So obviously he got Drac in Division 5, and then he had Legend of Toth in Div 4 and got Constructors there. So, mate, if Ozers hasn't got his eyes on Alpine being like his worst nightmare...
Div 3 could be Div 3 could be ropes next season. Well, not next season, this season. But...
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I mean... Pulling back 125 points in an 8-round season is a big ask. I think, I was saying to you earlier, so the last 8-round season we had was season 2. Alpine actually finished last that season with 272 points. So they've lost about half the points they would have got. P8 on 89. So do I think they can score 400 and whatever it is with 500 points? I think they probably can, to be fair. That would have been P5 last time, and I think they'll drop them down to P8. So... yeah, I think P8's fair for a team that it's actually quite solid.
I rate it. Yeah, I do rate that. Well,
look, hit me with your P8.
You'll be happy to know we have the same bottom 3. It's just in different orders. I've gone with Aston Martin in P8.
Fair.
I don't know. I could see him going a bit under the radar. You know, obviously on paper the lineup doesn't look ideal, does it? But I don't know. They have obviously got Gordo. You know, he'll definitely be up there in Div 5. I feel. Kickstone on his day, he could be a very good Div 4 driver. You know, maybe even Kidgen as well if he's fully locked in. I could see him, you know, maybe getting like the P6, maybe P7 area. Could see, you know, Mini Walker and Pistol in Div 3. That's a tricky one to judge, isn't it? Because obviously both of them, they don't really practice as much as they used to anymore. You know, they're not as locked in on the game. They're not as in there like swimwear, some would say. So I don't know about that. The Div 2, Jamie and English, that's just, it depends on the day really, doesn't it? You know, they'll either be rapid setting Div 1 times, or they'll just absolutely stink the gaff out. And I don't even know who this guy is they've got in Div 1, this Nat M guy, but, you know, it just sounds like he's got a sweaty name in it, so I'm guessing he'll be alright. So yeah, I don't think they'll get too high. I think they won't have many points, is all I'm going to say. I think they're going to have a bit of a stinker, but... You know, a P8 for Aston Martin is still decent, isn't it? That's not like anything for them to be disappointed in. But I think Gordo will definitely be their hard carry.
I do think, and I said this before, like, your lineup has to, for the most part, improve. Maybe not so much because we bring on the pace cap, so it appears that the lineups are slower than they were last season, maybe because they are technically slower drivers, but your lineup does have to improve over seasons if you want to even hold your position in the OCC. So they finished 10th last season after Jamie had an absolute howler. Going up to P8 isn't a bad thing. Like, that is a pretty successful season as Aston Martin come. So it's still going forward. I have to commend any team that can just go forward. So I won't speak badly on it. P7. Who are you saying P7? We probably have the same one, I'm guessing.
I think we will, to be fair. I'm hoping we do anyway. Once again, another new TP in XRS. I've gone with Haas in P7. I'm not against the lineup. I like what they've gone for, but I don't know. I just can't really see that competing against, you know, the top dogs really. Especially when they've got people like, you know, Whiffle in Div 2. They've got Caleb in Div 1. I mean, Getchlam and Drippo in Div 3. That could be a decent little lineup. I do rate that bit. Carl and Fetch in Div 4 as well. That could be all right. And I do rate the Nick Fury man in in Div 5, I rate that big time, but you know, I really can't see them challenging against anyone in the top 6, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've agreed that there's a bottom 3. I think Haas are kind of on their own. I've gone for Haas as well, P7.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they've got a good enough lineup to fight with that top 6. I do agree with you. I think they're good division. They're going to be Div 3 and 4. I do quite like the Nick Fury man. It's good to see him back in Haas. He had a had a decent stint in McLaren and then Mercedes. Now he's back at where he started, which is good. I think they're big letdown divisions of 1 and 2, especially 1. I mean,
100%.
Grizzly Bear in Div 1. I mean, it's nice to see him racing. I'm happy that he's racing because he deserves to be racing, even though he can't do it 2 times. But it's difficult to say he'll do well. You know what I mean? When he's not really supposed to be in Division 1. And then Meister Colin. I mean, he was supposed to be dropped, so he missed enough races for it to be an attendance break. But the old Haas TP didn't do it. And when Travis tried to, he ran out of time. So he's actually stuck with Meister Colin.
That's a howler.
And you've got to think, right, because the attendance break rule was 3, you've got to miss 3 out of 5 races. 5 races is the majority of the season in an 8-round season. Exactly, so he's going to be stuck with them. I think that's a massive letdown for Haas, unfortunately. What I will say about Haas, and I said this before, is I like the people they've brought in. They've brought back a lot of drivers who stopped racing. Jojo, Whiffle, Drippo, Getschlam. All these guys stopped racing, and he kind of brought them out of retirement, which I quite like. It's good to see some old faces, but I don't know. It's difficult to say they'll do fantastically well. P7 is very solid for a new TP though, so I'll take it. It's actually, I've just noticed, it's actually better than Haas have done in a long time. The last time Haas finished P7 or higher was season 3. So you know what? Actually, P7's a very successful season. Actually, I should say.
That'd be good from Travis.
Yeah. But on P6. Now we get into where it gets a little bit closer. We were saying about that. P6. What are you saying?
Now, this one could be higher. Okay, I think they might get higher if they don't get done dirty with the div moves. I've gone with VCARB.
Fair.
I genuinely think like a couple of the people that Panda has signed, you know, they could be at risk of going up, because obviously I don't know who half these people are that he signed. Like, I don't know Jack Daniels, this Rafi guy, you know, Squirt. I don't know who these guys are. They could get done with div moves, you know, after a couple of races, and then that leaves VCARB in the same category that he was in last season, where you know, they were falling victim to all the driver moves when they just everyone going up. But you know what, as a whole, I'm not against the lineup. It does look like it could be a solid lineup, but I can't really see them breaking into the top 5 with it, unless obviously there's Jack Daniels, Rafi, Squirt, unless they are obviously really good drivers. But I don't know, it's a tough one to judge really, because they've got some decent ones, but at the same time, you know, decent isn't going to get you top 5, is it?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the history of VCARB, who of course were AlphaTauri when we started the racing league, they finished, besides season 5, where they finished P3, they finished P4, between P4 and P6 every single season. They've never been top, they've never been bottom. They've just been consistently midfield. I think this lineup just kind of is defined by just midfield. I think it's just going to be okay. They've got a pretty solid
of mid, isn't it?
What I will say is their Div 1 is definitely a standing out one for me. I mean, Callum and Corruption. I mean, I know Corruption obviously did sandbag, but he is Div 1 pace. Good to see him in Div 1.
He is still rapid, isn't he? Like, that's the only reason I've actually got him in P6 and not P7 is because of their Div 1.
I think their Div 1's going to help them out. I mean, we've seen Paul Diver with some good results. We've seen Fanta with some good results. But the rest of the lineup, I do agree with you, is just kind of question marks. New drivers or newer drivers who haven't really proven themselves. It's difficult to predict them top 5 with a lot of question mark kind of lineup. And also what I've noticed with Panda is that, like you said, from last season, he was kind of getting screwed over by div moves. He ended up finishing 6th, which is not a bad finish in the OCC, but it's not like a groundbreaking one that everyone has their eyes on VCARB now. And he seems to enjoy his risky signings, doesn't he? He seems to enjoy signing people who might still get moved up, but he gives it the risk. I mean, I don't know whether that's going to happen this season or not. It's always a risk, but with a lot of new drivers, you never know. You know, if they get put in wrong division or they've just improved on pace outside the league and then come back, it's always a risk. So we'll see. But P6 is where I put them as well.
So nice to see we agree on that. You know.
Yeah, that's back to back. That's back to back. Can we go P5?
Top 5. Wow.
Can we get a little streak here? P5. I'll go with my P5 first this time then.
Yeah.
P5. And to be fair, this lineup is actually underrated. This lineup, if you haven't seen it, take a good look at it. Because I'll tell you what, Lasserdon's done a good job. I've gone P5 Williams.
Okay.
Williams is one of 2 teams in XRS over the 8 seasons we've had in XRS, or I guess 7 completed seasons, that have never won a trophy. Aston Martin have never won one, and neither have Williams. Now, Lasserdon was a TP. He's actually got a trophy to his name. Lasserdon was TP of VCARB for for a couple of seasons. He won a trophy. He won Division 5 drivers with Georgia. So he has got his name on the team sheet, on the score sheet for TPs. Only 13 TPs have won a trophy before, at least one trophy. And he is there. He dropped that role, has come back to a TP in Williams. I was really happy to see him take TP again because he was very solid when he was there. Unfortunately, Williams didn't get a great season last season. They finished ninth, I should say. But to be honest, the reason they finished ninth was because Neb had an absolute howler in season 6 and finished 10th.
Yeah.
They finished
What a
10th,
stinker.
right? So in season 6, Williams scored 420 points, right? Big up Weed. P9 was 854. They nearly had half of what P9's was. That's how bad Neb's season was. And to recover that and finish P9, to actually beat somebody, is quite impressive from Lassenden. And this season, I think they're going to take a massive step forward. P9 to P5 is really impressive, and they've got some great signings. Obviously, the main one we need to look at is their Div 3 lineup. I mean, that's the place they're going to win a trophy, Div 3. It's either going to be Sem or Boalf, or obviously them together as constructors. Another great signing, I would say, is more leader. I mean, we know what he's able to do. He fought me for a title back in season 4, and he's got some great pace. This is a great division for him. I think he'll be in contention to fight for maybe even the drivers, actually. And also their Div 1. The Div 1's very solid. Sleek Mover has a Div 1 title, and that was before there was a pace cap. And then Thaler was fighting Raven and the Mercedes boys for the title in Div 2. So I'm actually really excited to see what Williams can do, and I put them P5.
I rate that. Well, unfortunately, mate, I think
no.
my P5 is going to be your P4, and obviously vice versa. I've gone with Red Bull
Fair
to
enough.
get 5th. I'm not against that Red Bull lineup in the slightest. Honestly, I rate that from Worldwide. I think they are going to be so underrated going into the season because I think people are just going to overlook them a lot. You know, judging on the fact that obviously everyone knew that Key was the TP. You know, he was prone to just getting second all the time when he was basically just second best. And I think I think Worldwide has pulled a blind here with a few of his signings. You know, keeping Will at the team, like him and Will in Div 5. That'll be a very solid Div 5 lineup. I feel. Hansis and Captain JDW. I mean, it'll do the job in Div 4. You know, it's all you really need. You just need them to get the points. You know, bring them in. And then Miles and Toff in Div 3. I rate that big time. I genuinely rate it a lot. Especially if Miles can keep up the pace that he had at the end of the last season. Obviously, excluding Baku. And obviously Toff, you know, he won the championship in Div 4 last season. So he'll obviously do fine in Div 3. And Div 2, I think he has taken a big gamble going Brewdog in Div 2. Because, well, obviously he's great in qualifying, isn't he? But as soon as his head is gone. Like, he loses all motivation, you know, it all goes out the window. And then Ted, I'd like a bit of Ted in Div 2. I think he'll do sound. You know, he's a relatively quick driver, you know. He doesn't really do much wrong, does he? I don't remember the last time I've seen the guy do anything wrong in XRS. And Quartz and Ladies Man in Div 1, I think that's a bit of a rough one. I don't really rate Quartz as a driver.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of him. I think he will bring the points down, but obviously, you know, he supports Liverpool, so I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And Ladies Man, I think Ladies Man, if he shows up to all the races, he could get in a solid amount of points. But as a whole, I think the lineup is decent. I think Worldwide has definitely done well, considering it is his first season as a TP. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do rate the lineup a bit, but unfortunately, I'm just going to put him 5th best. But still, that is a respectable place. Like, I wouldn't mind that.
That's very fair, and you got it right as well. My P4 is Red Bull.
Yeah.
I think it's a really impressive lineup from Worldwide. He's been in the TP for about 5 minutes and he's absolutely cooked. To come in as even though you can make the case that Red Bull were a top team before, so naturally he should finish up there. It isn't always the case. It is, like I said, difficult to even maintain position, let alone improve. Red Bull finished second 2 seasons in a row to Ferrari, getting beaten by under 100 points both times. So that is quite unfortunate for Red Bull. But yeah, Keys dropped it because he's called it quits. He's joined Ferrari and he couldn't hack it. You know, not everyone can win an OCC, of course.
Yeah, not everyone
Worldwide's
can.
come through. Worldwide's come through, and I really like what he's done. I've put them 4th. I think if he's able to improve and learn about being a TP and just naturally get better, he did absolutely a top 3 in for the following season. His Div 5 is great. himself and Will, I talked about it earlier in the podcast. Obviously, you won't know about that, Liam, but I really rated them both. I think that's a really good call for those two. 100% a constructors' fire. Miles and Toth is a risky one, getting two drivers from the lower division to come up. But like you said, Miles' pace at the end of last season was absolutely fantastic. Toth won the championship, so if you could pick two that came up, those are two that could definitely be a great partnership. Honestly, the big name in that lineup that I really, really like is Ted Head. On last season's Div 3, genuinely causing me issues. Like, he was quicker than me the last few races. I could not keep with him. I was racing to stay in his DRS. It was difficult. I actually, you won't know this actually. I'll tell you now, but you won't at this point. I predicted him to win Div 2. Ted Head.
Really?
I think he's really quick. Yeah. I put him P1 and I put myself P3 for your information. You got it right. Brewdog is the risk there. I mean, he was in the title fight the entire way through for Div 3 against Coy and myself, and then he just called it quits, lost his head and called it quits. And that is, I mean, whether he's going to win it or not, it shows where his mentality is at. That if stuff goes wrong, he'll just throw his toys out the pram and call it a day. That is a bit of a risk. Me personally, I would have gone for Tolu if you were going to pick the two Albion boys from last season.
Definitely.
I do think it kind of sucks that Tolu's in a Sauber of all teams he could have picked, because he's going to be the star driver there, I think. But honestly, I actually disagree with you with Courts. I actually really like Courts. But I'll tell you why, right? And I said this earlier in the podcast, because Courts has voluntarily stayed in Division 1. We've tried to move him down so many times because he's not up to the pace of what Division 1 was before. And he just wasn't having it. He said, no, keep me in Division 1. Now, whether that might be for attendance. He might just not be able to do Saturdays. But it may be because he just wants to be in the top div. He's got that kind of mentality if he wants to be in the best div, even if he's struggling.
I do rate it, yeah.
And now we've got the pace gap in. This could be course of season, He could be in there like somewhere. And now the pace has come down to him. Finally, he gets what he deserves and fight for something.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't know you rated Courts like that. I didn't know you looked at him.
Yeah,
wow.
I think he might be a sneaky little signing from Worldwide there.
I rate it.
I have put Red Bull P4. I really hope Worldwide doesn't see that as a poor performance since they finished second last two seasons.
Yeah, that would
it's
be
really,
incredible.
Really good. Yeah. Finishing P4, it would be really good on your debut season, so that would be impressive. Right, top three. We've got the same top three.
Whoa, hang on. I haven't spoken about my P4, even though we know it's
that's true. That's fair enough. Go on, hit us with it.
Obviously, you already said about the Div 3 for Williams, and you're like, they are going to be absolutely outstanding, I feel.
They are just Ferrari P3, incredible. P4, sorry.
I was debating it, I was really debating it, Nah, obviously, come on, I would never do that. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say much about Williams that you haven't already said, really. They've got a very underrated lineup, and I think it will go so far under the radar that people won't even realise how good Williams are doing until they actually take a minute and just look at the OCC. Yeah. I think they have got some good drivers in the majority of divs, although I do feel that Div 5 is going to let them down a little bit with Don Dahl and that Neil C. Boy, or however you pronounce that, I think they will definitely bring them down ever so slightly. But, that Div 4, they could pull a blinder in Div 4. Lassiter and Hazapu on their day, they could be up there, but it just depends what day that is, really, doesn't it? And yeah, like you already said about Moore leader in Div 2, he will be a phenomenal driver. I don't think he'll be, fighting for the championship or anything, but I could definitely see him being, like a top 5, maybe top 6 driver. I don't know.
Wow, I put him P2 on mine. I put him ahead of me.
Really? Nah, no chance, mate. No chance. Not after season 4. Was it season 4? Yeah, it was season 4. Yeah, I can't put him ahead after season 4. Although he did get really unlucky, to be fair, didn't he? So maybe I am underrating the guy a bit. But that's his time to prove me wrong, isn't it? He can prove me wrong right now for saying he's going to be a top 5. And yeah, I think Fallow and Sleek in Div 1, that'll be a mean little Div 1 lineup. I feel like they'll definitely get top 3 in Div 1, I actually feel. As in top 3 of the constructors in Div 1. I could definitely see them pulling the blinder, but yeah, as a whole, I rate that Williams lineup big time. So last time, mate, you should be proud of yourself.
He's done well. I'm happy about Williams. What I will say is a big problem for their team is what you might not be aware of. Neil, Whippo. So Neilsy Boy's Whippo in the game, right? And he was in Red Bull last season, I think, or VCARB. And recently we've had to block him and kick him from the league, and him have to bring in a new account because he got hacked. Now, we all know how getting hacked to Discord works. Brother's gone onto a porn channel. So he might be a bit distracted this season and not be locked in. So that could be a real problem for Williams, you know. If he's too busy just gooning, mate.
Yeah, poor guy.
He's an absolute rotter, but there we go.
Absolute howler on the porn channels. Poor guy.
Right, we move on to top 3, and we've got the same top 3, but the question is which order, and I have a feeling we've got a different order, but we might have the same P3, so hit me with your P3.
I don't know if we will have the same P3.
Do you think? Okay, go on then.
I don't know. I've actually gone with the team that won the OCC last season. I've gone with Ferrari to finish third.
Wow. How come? Just don't rate Raven like that.
No. God, that's not. I'll tell you what it is, mate. It's because of Kieran Evans. If he wasn't on that team, they're winning the OCC. But,
genuinely, you might be on something, you know.
No, I'm being serious. That guy's holding them back. I think they have got a good lineup, to be fair. And we don't know who their other Div 5 is alongside Walker, but you can always guarantee that they're going to be up there. And Drac and Tom, it's a risky one, but I think Tommy's just going to do fine in here. Drac, if he can just improve a little bit on what he was like last season, they should be sound. I think Div 3 is where they're going to find a lot of success. Dodo and Pink, honestly, they could be a really mean lineup if Pink puts in the work and Dodo just doesn't crash. I think they could do some serious damage. And JB and Malachi, that is a really risky one to go in Div 2, considering both of them were Div 3 last season. But
yeah,
I think they will make it work. JB, he wasn't too far off pace with you, Ted, Koi, all them. He wasn't ridiculously slow. And then obviously we know what Malachi can do. We know that guy's an absolute unit. And Raven and Alex in Div 1, I think that'll be their main point scoring division, purely because they're just there every week and they're gonna just be there. They're gonna be up there. You'll basically just guarantee them to be in the top 7 range every race. I reckon. Look.
No, fair enough. I do agree with you. I actually I don't agree with one thing. I actually think their top division's gonna be Division 4. I actually really rate that. Because I think Drac, a lot of races last season got quite unlucky. Because you got to think, right, he was literally on pace. He beat Ozers, and Ozers got moved up this season. And then he beat him in Division 5. And then, and Tom, a lot of Tom's qualies were way good enough to be Division 3, let alone Division 4. So I think Tom could be really solid in Ferrari again. The whole lineup just kind of screams consistency.
Yeah,
I think they're just going to be. They're just all of them are going to show up every week. They're going to do all 8 races, and even if they do poorly, they're going to have drivers on the track all the time. You know what I mean?
An 8 race season, that is all that matters, really, isn't it? Just having someone there.
Yeah, you just missing a seat or having a driver miss it, and you can't fill in reserve. I mean, it means double the importance, doesn't it, compared to a longer season? The Division 1's very solid. I mean, they work well together. Division 2, a little bit of a risk, but I mean, Malachi's won 2 championships, so you can't really just fault him. Like that.
Yeah. You know what you're getting with Malachi, don't you?
Yeah. So he's gonna be in and about there. You can't deny that. JB's pace was really solid last season. I think if he'd done more races, he would have been in the fight for the title. It's a little bit of a shame he didn't do more races because it would have been nice to fight him. I had a few battles with him last season. It was good fun. He's a really very solid driver. So it'd be good to see what he can do. And Division 3 is a risky one. And I don't want to just slander them off too much because we know who they are, we know the history with me and them. Dodo and Pink, they've been doing this together, 4 years ago now in KRL?
Yeah.
And they're back again together now. Since those 4 years, neither of them have really won anything. Oh no, Pink won a drivers actually, sorry. Pink had a great couple of seasons in Division 4. He won the drivers in Division 4 with you. So he had a peak in pace, but he's dropped back because he hasn't really been racing. And Dodo had a terrible stint in Mercedes last season.
Yeah.
Mercedes and Williams. He got moved down from Division 2 after being quite poor, won his first 2 races, got signed to Mercedes, and then brother became prime Tycho. What is going on there?
Literally.
Bro went back to his Haas days in KRL. Now, remove the mistakes and look at these 2 drivers in their peak performance. And you maybe don't want to hear this because you're against them, but I do think they're going to win the constructors. Did I predict them? I actually didn't predict them to win the constructors in Division 3. And I might as well tell you since you're there. I didn't predict you either. I said Mercedes. But that is massively because of CGM. But we'll talk about Mercedes shortly. But yeah, in terms of Ferrari, very solid lineup. I think they'll work well together, but there's been some inconsistencies. Pink with not racing and Dodo with his just a very, very poor last season that makes me almost doubt those two. But we'll see. I'll put the P3 as well in the OCC. P2 and V1. We've got the same P2 and V1. Well. And who could it be?
I wonder.
Do you want to say... Should we say our winner first then, to make it more like... Who we think's going to win?
Yeah, go on then, yeah. Do you want to start with your winner?
My winner, and I did change this right at the end, I have put Mercedes to win it. This is nothing against the McLaren lineup. I think Ransdale's absolutely cooked. He's been a fantastic TP this whole stint, and obviously he's brought a couple drivers who from out the team from last season. He's kept a few names from last season. There's a lot of champions in there, a lot of proven drivers. We've got obviously Casper being a main man in that Division 1 as well with himself. There's obviously me in Division 2 and Amy, who maybe isn't known to the league, but she's as fast, if not faster than me. We've got Liam and Ozers. We've got Liam, the man who's bottled 1 championship, Ozers bottled 2, so let's hope they can't make it free. We've got, Well in Division 4. Well is the most slept-on driver. Brother, his qualities are fantastic. As long as he can hold on,
real.
he'll do great. I don't want to be that guy. But I'm going to be that guy. I think it's going to be really close. Naturally, it's going to be really close because it's an 8-race season, right? So every point counts. I can't lie. McLaren might finish second because of Kiernan.
Yeah, real. So real.
If you look at a Mercedes lineup, right, because I have put them first, Formula Viva and Ava, confirming the Viva signing when so many teams were going after him, well done. Brought Ava as well. Ava was a little inconsistent, but showed some great pace at the end of last season. I think she'll do well. Vaxi should win that division. CGM should win that division. CGM's gone back to controller after being on wheel, which is why I got moved down in the first place. CGM on controller is not Div 3 pace. At least he wasn't back then anyway. Bartha Stroyer will fight for the title. Coy will be in amongst that kind of area. And the Div 1 lineup's the same as the Div 2 last season, who won the Constructors. So it's very similar to Ferrari in terms of consistent, but I think they've got standout drivers like Vaxi and Glass.
It's definitely a no-brainer that they will be above Ferrari in the consistency department.
I don't even know if they've got a weakness, if I'm being so real. I mean, you look at Micah, but Micah was chasing for the Div 4 title last season. In fact, I think he would have won it with one more round, probably. He nearly beat Toth. So
he almost won because a top spun, didn't he? Singapore, and it was like so close, 1 point between them or something like that.
If you're looking at over the season, fair enough, Toth had a better season. If you're looking at in form right now, I would actually go for Micah over him. And the other weak link you could potentially say is Panda, but he won. He's a former championship winner, and he wasn't far off Tom. So
yeah, true.
I don't know if they have a weakness. If you're looking at McLaren, the weakness is sticking out, and it's Mr. P19.
Yeah, I mean everyone knows that, don't they?
I have said, and I've said this earlier in the podcast, he has locked in for the season. We need him to proper lock in. We need him to be where he was in Aston Martin and at McLaren back in season 2 to be able to win this OCC. It's going to be really close between two teams. But what do you think? What have you put?
Well, you've made some great points there of why you think Merck's going to win, but I've got to back McLaren, mate. I have to back the boys. I can't not, no, don't get me wrong, that Merck lineup is incredible, but I've thought of something that I think is going to happen, and I think that CGM Glass is going to be unbelievably rapid to the point where he's actually going to find himself getting moved up after 2 or 3 races. And I think that will severely mess Merck's lineup up, because there's not really any other Div 3s that you can get reserve wise if CGM did go up, unless obviously you brought in someone from a different team. So I think that could definitely hold them back a little bit. And I think I don't know with Panda. I think Panda is a risky one in Div 4 purely because who were we going on about before? It was Brewdog. When Brewdog, he loses his head, and then he just doubts himself big time, and that's exactly what Restored Panda does. As soon as something goes wrong, he's always doubting himself, always saying that he can't do this, he can't do that, and it obviously it shows in the performance. Then, when you start falling off. Obviously, last season was incredible.
You were in that team, so you can give us a bit of insight. What's it like?
Exactly. Yeah. He is literally like that. As soon as it goes wrong, he assumes the worst, and I think if anyone was going to change his mindset, it would actually be big Finlay Millard. But it depends. I think especially Merc Div 5, that is incredible. I mean, I don't think they're going to restart that all. I think they're going to absolutely walk away with the Div 5 championship. But I think that Div 2, I think that's actually going to be the biggest letdown. I think that is going to hold them back a little bit, because if you look at the last couple of seasons, big come on your Iron Hayden, he's missed quite a few races, hasn't he? You know, that guy, he always misses, 2, 3, 4 races every season.
It's arguably cost them 2 titles.
Exactly, yeah. And I think it'll be the exact same this season coming up. I think he will miss a few races, and I think it'll impact Merc quite a lot. And I've just got to back McLaren. I think if you take away Keenan, and maybe do you know what Foxes is? Foxes is a great driver. I rate Foxes. If you take away Keenan, that McLaren lineup is phenomenal. I don't really see any faults with it. But like you were saying, Keenan is the one that could change it all. If he starts slacking, words will be said, mate.
I will say because Mill was with us for the Division 5 predictions. He did put Keenan in his top 3. I didn't put him in my top 3.
Wow, really?
You put him third, yeah.
In top 3? No way.
I can't remember now. By the way, for everyone listening, this was recorded 2 days ago, Division 5. So he put Keenan third, I think, and he put Mercedes 1 too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do rate that, to be fair. I would have personally I would have gone with Viva first, I would have gone Karma in second, and I would have gone with Ava in third.
But I put Viva in third, Worldwide in second, and Karma in first.
I rate that. I think Worldwide, he actually will be an underrated one. I think he actually will be up there. I don't know if I see him getting the top 3 or not. I don't know.
He was quick when he stopped racing. So if he can get his pace back, I think he'll be a real threat. Because there was rumours of him coming to McLaren, and then he took the Red Bull TB seat. So that would have been Keenan out. That would have been OCC.
Yeah, OCC wrapped up, mate. Yeah. Why did he have to take Red Bull TP? Hold it for us.
But there we go. That is the OCC standings. Thank you everyone for watching, everyone for listening. This was originally supposed to go on Spotify. I'm going to have to record the intro again because I said it was going on Spotify. But now I found out that apparently it can take up to 5 days to confirm the audio, and so we need to get this out. We need to have the public listening. I get pinged 10 times a day for the past 8 seasons about when the predictions are coming back. Right, so relax. They're back. We're here. Right?
Yeah, Casper.
Yeah, literally Casper. This Casper guy. Anyway,
always in, bro. Always in.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Leo, for joining me.
That's all right, mate.
For those of you who, and I'm going to be bringing back the weekly podcast as well after every racing week, which is going to be very exciting. For those of you who want to be on the podcast, absolutely let me know. I can't get you all on, but if you're a big name, if you're a TP, if you're fighting for championships, it'd be great to interview you, talk to you, and see how you're getting on. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe below, and we'll see you soon. It's going to be a good season.